Might have been Angel Smith again.
Yeah, Angel Smith again in that tackle.
Kim Marks had the opportunity to break through the line of scrimmage there and just barely missed tackling her in the backfield.
No gain. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Good play for the Chicago defense as the Renegades try to get their running game going, something they've been known for in the past. Here's the handoff to Asante Gun on the right side, gets through the line of scrimmage, into the 20, 15. She's taken down by Jamie Fornell, but Boston now inside the 10-yard line. That's going to be 1st and goal.
That's a tough play right there. I mean, the key to opening that running lane up for the Boston Renegades was the near side defensive end totally got blown up from an inside guard block, pushed out of the line of the play, and it opened the lane wide open.
I didn't finish the talk about Whitney Zealy, one of the top running backs in the league. She's been out. She has an ACL. We don't know if it's torn. She may be back later in the season, talking to the Boston crew, but they're not going to have her tonight. It's Cahill. Throws it from the gun, tried to throw it inside to Adrian Smith.
Yep.
It's going to be incomplete, and looked like Adrian Smith was looking for a flag. He's not going to get it.
Maybe. She had some tough coverage there from Alicia Oakrey, who that's going to be a great matchup. Oakrey and Dorian Bridges with Adrian Smith. We should be watching that matchup all day today.
Glad you could join us again on the radio and online. Glad you could join. Directing the video tonight, and we got our cameraman, Jeff Corey, Mac McClendon, and then if you're listening on the radio, back in the studios, Christina Cortez on 2nd down and goal. Just inside the 10-yard line of the Force. Cahill in the gun, hands it off. This is Pelletier again. She's going to be dragged from behind by Kim Marks. She may have gained 1. Marks was able to get her, Sarah Rogers.
Yep.
Sarah Rogers on that tackle.
Yep.
The rookie linebackers just had a fantastic season so far. Another great tackle from Rogers.
Yep, we can identify her by the yellow shoes today. That'll be the easy way, rather with all this weather that's happening here.
Yeah, talk about the weather. So I was holding the weather for you.
Oh, goodness gracious.
The weather right now in Evanston, cloudy skies, not raining right now. The temperature is 43 degrees. You know what it feels like? 35 degrees. 35?
Oh, it's a tough day, and we should certainly start out the broadcast here by giving a shout-out to our fans. Thank gracious for them for braving the weather and coming out today, and the Spear Brigade is here as well, so kudos to them.
From the 8-yard line, it's 3rd and goal. Fake the handoff. Cahill throws it to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown. On the slant pattern to Adrian Smith.
Yep.
From 8 yards out, and Boston gets on the board.
This is going to be a matchup we are going to have to worry about, and somebody we are going to have to watch all day long. She's going to be, without Zealy, she's going to be the weapon they go to.
Adrian Smith with her 4th receiving touchdown of the season, and now Boston will go for the PAT.
The Boston kicker here, she had a rough go in the very first game of the season. I know struggled a little bit sort of getting into her rhythm, but I think has found it in the past couple of games.
Brooke Goodman is 9 of 14 for PAT, but she knocks this one through. So with 11:48 to go, first quarter, Boston gets the first drive of the game, and they take it all the way down. An 8-yard touchdown pass, Allison Cahill to Adrian Smith, and it's Boston 7-0.
You know, I hate to say that the kickoff coverage has been a perpetual sort of Achilles heel for Chicago Force. The 2012 National Championship, first play of the game, we kicked off. Thankfully, Chicago Force player now, but then San Diego Surge player Cassie Brick ran it back for a touchdown. In the National Championship in 2013, the first play of the game, again, was a tackle, at like the 30-yard line on our end. So, that's one of the things I think the Force could improve upon is the kickoff coverage for sure, because it's really putting the defense in a bad position.
Boston has been known by the militia. It's been the Boston Militia until this season. Boston won the national championship last year on their way beating the Force. We don't like talking about it, but they did. And after the season, getting close to this 2015 season, the owner said, "I'm done. Let go of the franchise." But the players wanted to come back. They want to still be a team. So the coaches, some players came back, some former players got it together, and they built this team up. They're the Boston Renegades. They're not in a division.
Nope.
So they picked up games. Again, they're 2-1.
They're like Notre Dame. They won't commit to a conference.
They started the season with a win. They beat Central Maryland, the Seahawks, 57-0. Then they lost to the DC Divas, another great team in the WFA. It was close, 32-27. And then 2 weeks ago, 2 Saturdays ago, Boston beat Cleveland 24-20. So they only have one more game after this, and they go back and play DC again.
Yep.
And it will be at DC. So
that's going to be a tough game for them. I mean, it's always a great matchup, and DC is a very talented and very, very experienced franchise. So that's going to be a tough matchup for them.
Boston will kick it off. Brooke Goodman will do the honors. Back deep, Jeanette Gray and Cassie Brick. We've not heard Cassie Brick's name in the last couple games for Chicago, but she's back here for the kickoff. High end over end kick, and is bounce at the 20.
Touched by Gray.
Yeah, tried to pick it up. She will at the 10-yard line. Tries to make something happen on the right hash mark. She'll get up to the 25-yard line. That's where Chicago will start their first drive as Boston has a 7-0 lead, 11:40 to go, first quarter.
Yeah, this is going to be a grinded-out game, I think. And, it's going to be important to see right here how the Chicago Force offense bounces back from very tough first possession, for the defense. So they're really going to have to pick it up here. And I think we're going to see that both ways today, is that, there's going to be some situations where the defense struggles and the offense will need to compensate, and the vice versa will be true as well.
You're talking about that number one offense in the WFA is Gore under pressure.
Yep.
On the left side, just tries to throw it out, and it's incomplete.
Trying for C. Lee.
Tried to get the Carolyn Lee, but the pressure came from the Boston D line, and incomplete pass can bring up second down for Chicago. That
was an interesting play there. What we were seeing was the Boston defensive end was really tracking the quarterback kind of in a spy situation. And so they did not, one of the ways Rachel has been very successful this year is with the read option in getting players to make mistakes. And in that particular situation, the Boston defensive end stuck to a responsibility, maintained quarterback contact and mirroring, and that contributed to, that being an incomplete pass.
On second down, tried to go right up the middle, and there's going to be a loss on this play.
Yep.
In there to make the tackle with Charlene Casey. And now Chicago in a little bit of trouble. It's going to be third down and long in their first drive.
We might have had a little bit of ball squeak out there because the person that came up with the ball was the right tackle, Leanne Blusky.
So Chicago trying to get something going. The Boston Renegades put pressure right on early here in the game. Renegades up 7-0. So it's third down and 13. Ball is back at about the 23-yard line. The Force will have 4 wideouts. Gore moves to her left. Looking to throw on the run. She will. Lobs it up, and it's incomplete. She tried to get it to Jeanette Gray. Incomplete. Now here's the decision for head coach John Konecki of Chicago, and I think he's already made the decision. It looks like they will punt it away.
Yeah, and this is going to be tough. Jamie Fornell, who's been doing a decent job this year, really getting the Force out of some sticky situations. She's going to be punting into the wind here. This flag is blowing straight at her. So this is going to be a tough situation. The key to this is going to be kicking the ball low and getting sort of a, you don't want that high, long punt that you usually do. You got to keep it low and get it out there.
High snap, she's able to get it off. It takes a bounce at the 35, now a bounce for Chicago, and it's touched at the 39-yard line. So Boston is going to have fantastic field position. Now there's a flag back in the backfield. Is this going to be roughing the kicker? And it is. It's only going to be a 5-yard penalty, though, Tricia. So it's still going to be fourth down and long. But
that we didn't get a whole lot of gain on yardage right there, so I think the opportunity to kick it again hopefully will help. But there was a lot of penetration right there by the Boston Militia, as illustrated by that penalty. But 3-4 bodies in the backfield there.
Again, glad you're listening on AM 1230 WJOB. Glad you're watching on ChicagoForceFootball.com or YouTube, the Chicago Force page. Big one here, Chicago and Boston. So far, it's the Renegades from Boston that have the upper hand. 7-0 Boston. 10:34 to go, first quarter, and Chicago is going to what happened is Boston declined the penalty. So they will take it at the 39-yard line.
There we go.
So Boston will start this second drive in fantastic field position.
The Chicago Force is really going to have to step up today. And, I mean, one of the things that we talk about through the course of the season is trying to play the best competition and get tested in those situations. So if there's postseason hope and the expectation of a championship, today is a good litmus test to determine that.
Allison Cahill in the gun. Hands off to Asante. To her right. Has a couple blocks. And she'll be taken down. Hey. We lost audio.
Yep.
All right. Just keep talking.
Yep.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're still on.
Yep.
Lost it here in our headset, but we're still good to go.
All right.
Sante only gains 1 yard. Down to the 38-yard line. Second down and 9. Cahill back in the gun. She's got 3 receivers to the left. She's going to throw it outside to Smith. She's right at her numbers, but dropped it. It looked like she was.
These things cleaned up on defensive coverage.
So here's a chance for the Chicago defense to make something happen.
Yep, absolutely. You know, one of the things we haven't talked about yet today is the absence of Martha Dintuma.
Dintuma's back there on 3rd and 9. Again, at the 38. Cahill's got plenty of time. And again, Smith on the slant pattern, right at the 30-yard line, had it in her hands and drops it.
Yep.
Adrian Smith has dropped at least 2 passes. And Boston has really had some opportunities here to make the score larger and have not been able to do it.
You know, one of the things that we're bunch sets on the left-hand side where they're sending, you know, drag route to the outside and the slat.
Boston
Situation. We were just kind of here. The little things are, and you're going to have to be extra careful with, you know, the things that you're doing. So we'll start to see how that comes into play here.
From their own 2. Carolyn Lee pitches it off. It was dropped, then picked back up.
Kelsey Casey.
By Casey. Again, you talked about a little bit of some of the weather, the slippiness of the ball.
Yep.
You saw it right there with Kelsey Casey, who had a problem and lost. Picked up 2. So up to the 5-yard line. I'm going to say it's going to be 2nd down and 8 from there.
We got a big offensive line package in right here, and Carolyn Lee under center.
Lee again. We'll pitch it back to Kelsey Casey on the right-hand side. Just probing, trying to get some positive yards, and she's pushed back close to the 10-yard line. She's going to say that she was marked down at the 8.
We've got a tough situation coming up here, and, you know, the offensive package that's in right now is the bread and butter, really, you know, the big push of the Chicago Force offense. I mean, this is when we need to grind it out and we need 1, 2, 3 yards. This is the group that you put in to do that. So they're definitely having a little trouble here. I mean, we've got, you know, 3 offensive linemen to each side, 1 in motion. We need to have something happen here.
Officials stop play. Now they're reset. It's that bunch formation. Amber Kimbrough is the fullback, but the pitch comes to Kelsey Casey, and she's tripped up in the backfield. What a play from Boston. And the play was made by 45, and that's Vicky Eddy. She was on that Team USA that won the World Championships. You're going to hear her.
To just shut that down. Great play by her.
That Boston defense steps up again as Fornell is going to kick it away halfway in the end zone.
I used to call this the punter panic zone. One of the most terrifying places you can be.
And before the play, we're going to get a flag. Adrian Smith is inside the 40-yard line of Chicago to wait for this punt, but it was a false start on Chicago. So now you talked about the pressure point.
Yep.
She may not even get the full yardage she would getting that punt off.
Yeah, which, you know, truth be told, you know, there's one is that's kind of dangerous because you're so much closer to the offensive, to the defensive lineman coming through. You know, the second is so.
Gets in.
Here and challenge any points.
Yard line.
we're sort of reviewing. Uh, 0 at halftime. A game.
Field. It's going to be inside the 35-yard line on the far side before she's taken down. So not much Kelly Rear could do. The wind was going against her. She was able to get it as far as she could. But again, Boston with fantastic field position here in the middle of the first quarter.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of a factor the wind's going to play. You know, right now Chicago's having a hard time because we're going against the wind in all these different situations, passing, kicking, punting, and we'll see how that's affected in the second half. It's got to stay close in order for that to be a factor.
Yeah, Boston will be at the forced 31-yard line trying to add to a 9-0 lead. Cahill in the gun. She has Asante to her right, and she'll pitch it off to her. She's got blockers. Inside the 30, down to the 26-yard line. Amber Kimbrough in on the tackle. Jamie Forno in on that tackle, but good positive yardage for Boston. It's going to bring up second down. We'll call it 6.
Jamie Forno did a great job on that play. She was over the top of Adrian Smith, saw Adrian go down for the crack block on the outside linebacker, which immediately, her read and play on that is to immediately come to the line of scrimmage because the run is coming to that side. She did a great job there. Chicago,
as I mentioned, number 2 defense in the WFA. They've only given up 15 points all season. That's 3 points per game. Here's a handoff. Pelletier, good defense, though, and it's a gang tackle loss for Boston. You mentioned Kim Marks was first to get in there, and she was able to get in there with Angel Smith to make the tackle. Good penetration from Kim Marks.
Yep, that's what we need to see. You know, Kim Marks is up in that line of scrimmage. She's a defensive lineman, defensive end a lot of times, and she's got some speed. And so that's what she needs to concentrate on is just pushing through that line of scrimmage, making those tackles in the backfield.
Loss of 5, so they're back at the original line of scrimmage at the 31-yard line of Chicago. On 3rd and 10, with 6 minutes to go, first quarter. Boston up 9-0 over Chicago.
It'd be a great boost of confidence for the Force defense to stop Boston here. Something tells me they'll be very aggressive, even on 4th down, and go for it.
Boston will spread it out. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. They've got one in motion.
Wide open again.
Is caught by Weinberg. On the far sideline, inside the 10-yard line. She's tackled down at the 8. Again, a wide open receiver. This one is Emily. Check that, yes.
Yep, it was right.
Emily Weinberg with the catch. And now it's 1st down and goal for the Renegades.
Clearly, we're having a communication problem on that side. That's probably, what, the 3rd, 4th time maybe today that we've seen somebody lonely and all by themselves. And I don't know if the Force defense is preoccupied with Adrian Smith, but we need to start figuring out what's going on here.
Cahill in the gun. She's got a back to her left and a back to her right. On 1st and goal, this handoff.
Jilaraki comes.
Bring 9-0.
Without their star
athlete. Recommend athletic. The safe. And then
make the correct. It looks like Kylie.
With 6.
Yeah.
Asante with kind of the season. And it's now 15-0 Boston with the PAT to come.
We'll see what happens here if we can get the Chicago Force defense fired up and see if we can get in and block this.
Boston has to wait for one more lineman to come in. They have the right numbers. How about the start for Boston? Come into Chicago and take the lead. Here's the PAT. The snap, the hold is good. The kick is up, and the kick is good. With 4:07 to go here in the first quarter, Boston 16, Chicago nothing.
We'll see what happens here as we close out the first quarter in a couple minutes. But Chicago is going to have a little, I think, heart-to-heart here on the sideline with Coach Coleman taking a look at the defense. But it would be great to see the kickoff team make something happen here. We'll sort of see what kind of role special teams are going to play today. I think because of the amount of scoring that we may be seeing, there's a real opportunity for the special teams groups to make a difference today.
Well, if you're Boston so far, your offense has stepped up, your defense has stepped up, and you got a special teams play.
Yeah.
They've done it.
2 extra points there, and, the big block on the punt by Jendelsky. And, we're going to have to fix those little things, but the Force is going to come around here, I'm sure.
Plenty of time to go in this one. 4:07 to go first quarter, but Chicago in a little bit of trouble, down 16-0 here at home.
Let's see how we handle the ball. It would be nice to see us sort of correct some of these tacky issues.
Hot. And it's picked up by Brick at the 5. Up the middle to the 10, 15, breaks one tackle, and she's tripped up past the 20-yard line. So Chicago's going to start at the 23-yard line. See what Rachel Gorin, just see if the Chicago offense can get something moving here against this Boston D.
Yeah, they really do. And I think one of the things that we're seeing here is a very disciplined Boston defense, and that's, contributing to, some of the challenges that the offense is facing here. But I think, as we continue to sort of get comfortable in this game, the Force offense, especially the offensive line, is really going to find their groove.
These two teams just seem to play each other every year, not maybe regular season, but always in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a perennial matchup and a real deep rivalry on both sides of the ball.
First down and 10, little pitch to Cassie Brick. Up the middle, now cuts to the left, now back at the 25.
There's the cavalry.
And the 30, 35, 40, and she's got nothing but green field in front of her. She's going to go in for the touchdown.
Nothing like a 70-yard sprint.
I'm going to call officially, I'm looking at it, 76 yards for Cassie Brick. She has not been in there in a couple games. It's good to get her back. Touchdown, Chicago.
I mean, clearly she's the key, the little spark that we needed in order to get this going. And that play right there is, again, one of the deep plays in Coach Konecki's playbook, and it's one of those situations where the one-on-one battles are the key to success. There was, you go into the wash and sort of out of the wash in the middle of the field, and, Cassie's able to just dance around and avoid blockers so well.
It's the 6th rushing touchdown for Cassie Brick. They're going to go for 2. Trying to go up the middle, try to get that 2-point PAT, and they didn't get it.
Nope.
They were stuffed. So the PAT no good, and with 3:43 to go in the first quarter, we got a new score. Boston 16, Chicago 6.
All right, so we got a game going here, and it's nice to see the Force offense respond. Again, as we were talking about, the key to that last play for Cassie's touchdown is really lies with the offensive line, and so to see them have success there, I think is going to make a big difference moving forward. But we got to continue to get those little things. Those 2 points seem like they might be valuable here coming on.
Huge 2-point conversions today, especially with Chicago having so much success with it. That would have made it a 1-possession game. Now still Chicago down by 10, and it's a 2-possession game.
Yep. So let's see how the kickoff team does here. Again, we're kicking into the wind still, which is always going to be a challenge. So, again, it would be nice to see Kelly Rare make an adjustment here. Instead of going for that high floaty kick, it'd be nice to see like a line drive or something like that that's a few feet off the ground. Sort of take the wind out of the equation.
Chicago has got back into it. Kelly Rare will kick it off. Nice kick.
Nice kick.
High end over end. It's picked up by Asante at the 30.
Right there, Jamie Ford
left. Still at the 30, trying to break it to the outside. Does. To the 35, 40. And then she stood up at the 42-yard line. But a nice run from Asia Asante.
Yep, there was a nice chance back there, almost at like the 35 or the 30. Jamie Fornell had squeaked through the defensive coverage on that and looked like she was on their half of the field.
We've had a very busy first quarter.
Very.
Some scoring, not just from the offense. We got a block punt.
Yeah, we haven't seen that happen all year, so that's a big one here in the game today.
Boston takes over throwing 42-yard line. 1st and 10, Allison Cahill. She's been in the gun the whole time. She is again. High snap, able to give it off to Asante.
Oh, great.
And a great stop. It's Alicia Okri gets the tackle for loss back at the 35-yard line. Huge play for the Force defense. Brings up 2nd down and long.
Punching right through there, and I think Coach Coleman has started to figure this out a little bit. Again, the Boston offensive line is trying to stretch it around, beat each person, and then let that come around the corner there to try and get into the to the secondary. So it's good to see the Force defense step up there and everybody punching through the middle.
Loss of 5. 2nd and 15. Back at the 37-yard line.
That's got to feel good if you're a Force lineman right there.
Cahill's got a couple of receivers to the left, one to the right. She's got it back with her in the gun.
Nice.
And it's handoff to Pelletier. She breaks one tackle.
Yep.
May have gained a yard, though, up to the 38-yard line.
She met Melissa there right in the hole, right at the line of scrimmage. Melissa Nelson, number 42, and almost came down. But it's nice to see the gang tackling of the Force and a lot of bodies around there.
Big 3rd down coming, 3rd and 14 from the 38. This would be a huge stop for the Chicago defense as Chicago's offense took one play to get on the board their last drive. Cassie Brick, 76-yard touchdown run. Both teams have shown some success here in the first quarter. Boston has the 10-point lead with 2 minutes to go.
Yep. This is probably the most important play of the first quarter here for the Chicago Force defense.
3 receivers to the left for Boston, 1 to the right. Asante in motion. Cahill waits for the snap.
Yeah.
Gets it.
To the bubble.
Looking the and Boston will put it away.
Yep. Little clarification here. It looks like in the secondary with Alicia Okri and Jill Araki on that. That's the best.
Brick. Back deep for Chicago.
Jay Gray and Cassie Brick have switched sides receiving. We got Jay Gray to the near side of the field, and Cassie is deeper to the far side.
Weinberg will punt it away. Nice kick.
Yep.
It's going to take a Boston bounce. Brick picks it up at the 22. On the near wing, up to the 30. 35, breaks tackles. 40, 45. She's going to push out pushed out of bounds close to the 47-yard line, but a nice play from Cassie Brick to not let that ball drop and go bounce again. She was able to pick it up and get some yardage for Chicago. So 9 to go in the first quarter. Chicago
By James.
A big stop from the Force defense.
Nice to see the improvement here in starting at the 47.
Before 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Gore in the gun. 3 steps, throws it to Jay Gray. Near sideline, incomplete. A little bit too high in the pass. Good coverage, though, from Boston and Shantae Bonds.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, it's the wind's dying down a little bit, so that's hoping. But the Chicago Force passing game is...
You might hear the wind blowing through our headsets. It's breezy out here.
Yep.
It's cold. Feels like 35 degrees, but some pretty good football being played here in this first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
2nd down and 10. Again, from the 47-yard line of Chicago, Gorn. Gore will move to her right. Just makes the run up the middle and almost broke it further past the 40-yard line, but she was tripped up by Brooke Goodman. But it's a 1st down for Chicago inside Boston territory at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, clear over pursuit by the left Boston defensive end there. That's what really opened up that running lane for Rachel.
Just over a minute to go here in the first quarter. Force are on the move. At the Boston 40, Gore not able to get the snap. She has to go back to midfield to pick it up. A little bit of miscommunication from the center and quarterback for Chicago is Kat Converse with the snap. But Gore not able to handle it.
Yeah. Sort of seemed a little bit like she was maybe checking down a little bit, not quite ready for the ball to come through.
I think they're going to use another ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to blame the equipment.
Well, it's funny. The referee right there was like, give me the ball. And Gore just tossed it to the sideline like, yeah, I'm not going to use that one.
So a loss of 9.
Whew.
Back to the 48-yard line. 2nd and 19. Gore, handoff Brick. tries to break some tackles. She's just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage and another loss.
Man, the Chicago offensive line just got bulldozed on that right-hand side there.
Nice play from Jessica Penta. Penta makes the tackle. She leads the team in tackles for Boston. She makes a great play there, and the first quarter is going to run out. How about that for the first 15 minutes? Some fireworks from both teams. Boston got out to a 16-0 lead. They scored on their first offensive drive. They got a block punt for a safety. And then Chicago comes back down 16, a 76-yard touchdown run. Cassie Brick for Chicago at 16-6 as we end the first quarter. And again, we appreciate you listening on AM 1230 WJOB. Glad you could listen there. Hammond, Indiana, the voice of the region, and also on ChicagoForceFootball.com. You're listening on YouTube.com on the Chicago Force page, and we appreciate everybody. Again, the great staff working with us today. Christina Cortez back in the WJOB studios. Chuck Pullen here directing the stream. Matt McClendon and Jeff Corey, our cameraman, up here in the booth. And we knew this would be a good game, Sharpie. We knew it would be a good game.
Absolutely.
I think a little surprised how good Boston is coming here on the road, in the weather.
Yep.
Got up 16 points, but we saw Chicago also. They know what to do with the football, and they were able to come back. Yeah,
they absolutely are. And, anybody that thought that this was going to be a blowout one way or the other has not been paying close enough attention to the history of the rivalry here. But, Boston's really bringing it. And like we were talking about earlier, Chicago's got to learn to play in this kind of environment. You got to play with your back against the wall a little bit and, learn to come from behind. So this is a good challenge for them.
We start the second quarter. Chicago moving left to right. Gore in the gun. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. High snap. Gore throws the screen. Middle of the field to Gray. Past midfield and taken down at the 44-yard line inside Boston territory. Good tackle from Brooke Goodman, but Chicago has some good yardage on third down. So it's 4th down.
We needed a good gain in field possession there, and I think that helped. That screen pass, that's the first time that we've seen that today, so it'll be interesting to see how Coach Konecki is using that as a setup to something more deadly, hopefully.
Well, it's 4th and 4 from the 44-yard line of Boston, and it looks like Chicago's going to punt away, but the head coach of Boston wants a timeout, Don Williams. I don't know if he's so sure that Chicago's going to punt this one away.
Yeah. Well, that would be tricky, and I think at this point in the game, some sort of fake punt situation would be a little too risky, especially with the game so close here. But, it would be nice to see the Force, being aggressive kind of in that way.
Today's post-game party at a great place.
Awesome.
Hardwater Bar and Grill. Hardwater is just 3 miles away. 7545 North Clark at the corner of Howard here in Evanston. Yep. All are invited to attend, and, again, if you're not in the area tonight, always a great place. Always come out if you're in the area. Hardwater Bar and Grill.
Yep, they have a great beer selection there and even better food, so it's a great place to check out.
Well, we're hoping the post-game party will have a win included with it, but it's going to take a little work and have to come from behind to do it. 16-6 Boston, 14:22 to go second quarter. Andy Garcia alongside Tricia Charbonneau, former Force player, part of the 2013 National Championship. Both of these teams have had success in the postseason. Boston, known as the Militia in the past, Charby, they've won 3 national championships in the last 7 years.
They're a great organization through and through. And, they've won their division, I think, 8 times in their history. So they're definitely a big group.
Forno cannot get the snap off on the punt. She dropped it, too much pressure, and Boston will take over at the Force 44-yard line. So Forno not able to handle that snap again. Just not able to get that punt off. And Boston makes another special teams play. Maybe not of all they're doing, but they'll take advantage. Yeah,
and that's a tough thing to do when the ball is so wet like that and it's blowing again. But now the Force has got the win with them, when we're back on offense. So the challenge is Boston's now to go against that strong headwind.
Allison Cahill already has a touchdown pass to Adrian Smith from 8 yards out. That got Boston on the board, 7-0. They lead by 10 right now, 16-6. Renegades with the 10-point lead with 14:15 to go here, second quarter. Like a wishbone in the backfield.
Yeah.
Cahill's in the gun.
And we got Adrian on the move again.
Hand off to Asante. But she's going to be taken down in midfield by Kelsey Casey.
Wow.
Huge loss. Loss of 6 on the play. And Sasante never even saw Casey coming.
Never, ever saw Kelsey coming. And, I mean, she's somebody, I was talking to last week, actually, before the game, and she is a second-year player that one of those people for whom, the light bulb, as we talked about, has just gone off. And she is so she's engaging, and she's quick, and she's fast, and she's, just a very, sort of reactionary player on defense. And, her speed and agility give her that opportunity. So she's making a lot of things happen for the Force defense this year.
A DePaul University grad.
Yep.
Degree in nursing.
Yeah.
So back, they're going to call it close to midfield, and looks like Boston may have got Chicago to go off sides. Hand off to Asante up the middle. Close to the 45 of Chicago.
It's good to see, even though there was a penalty on that play, of course, if there had not been, we'd be talking about a 3-yard gain, which I feel like sort of the way things have been going, that's not such a bad play for the Force defense right now.
Might expect Boston to take the 5-yard penalty.
Yeah. It's nice to see us get through the first quarter, I think, with, 1 or 2 penalties maybe at most, if that.
Well, they're going to decline
the
offsides because it was a face mask penalty on Chicago. So this is going to be 15 yards and an automatic first down. It gets Boston out of trouble.
Yeah, it's a costly penalty right now.
Official, you mentioned.
From a couple of in a row that really gave them some advance yardage.
Cahill hands it off to Asante, but a nice tackle from behind from Amber Kimbrough, her second season with the Force. Loss on the play. We got an injury to Boston here.
Yeah. Am I misreading, or are we seeing Rachel Gorin on defense as well?
She did. Remember, she's got a sack this year. So, but that injured Renegade looks like to be Asia Asante, where that tackle from behind from Amber Kimbrough, and Asante never got up.
Yep. And that's a tough person to recover from, getting brought down by is Amber Kimbrough. I mean, she's a second-year player for the Force, very young. One of our players that has high school football experience, but she is just an animal out there. Hits harder than nearly anybody on the team.
You mentioned the fans out here. If you're watching on the stream, you get to see some of the die-hard Chicago Force fans. I can tell you right now, if you're listening on the radio, they're not wearing their bathing suits.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised at how uncovered some of those people actually are.
They're still taking a look at Asia Asante. That would be a big loss for Boston. And again, remember, they've already lost Whitney Zealy, one of the best running backs to play in the WFA. Yeah,
Asante's been doing a lot of carrying today. I mean, but she's also, throughout the course of the season thus far for them, been a fantastic blocker. So it would be a real shame for them to lose her services here for a little while.
The officials, again, holding up plays. The medical staff take a look at Asia Asante. She came in with the most rushing yards for the team for Boston. She already has a rushing touchdown tonight from 3 yards out.
Yep. So one of the things in the pregame I was, I don't know if we've mentioned that today is the alumni game as well. So we have several past Chicago Force players here, out to be with the team and to support them in their endeavors this year. And we picked the Boston game for the alumni game this year because of the rich rivalry between these two organizations. And I was speaking to some of the veteran players and some of the retired players, before the game started, and sort of talking about what memories they had from playing Boston. And I mean, there's some very notable games in the history between the two teams that you've had the pleasure of, calling and being at. In 2012, which sent us to the national championship. 2013, I'm sure those were fun from your side as well.
Yep. Asia Asante is being carried off the field, not putting any pressure on one of those ankles or legs, and that would be a huge loss for Boston. You're going to have to move forward without one of their big-time running backs. So on second down and 13, the ball back at the 34-yard line of Chicago. Cahill with some miscommunication, but the handout to Pelletier. Able to get some room inside the 25-yard line, right at the right hash mark.
Yep.
Close to a first down. What a run. And how about this Abby Pelletier getting some yardage in the first and second quarter?
She's going to be the person they go to now, and it looks like Boston's brought in, Kate Mishkowski. I think I'm pronouncing her last name right. She's coming in to be the blocking back for Asia.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 1. The ball's marked at the Force 22-yard line.
Be interesting to see now if Boston continues pushing the running game or will they start to rely more on Adrian Smith. She's one-on-one with Jamie Fornall on the near side of the field.
Cahill in the gun. Hand off. Pelletier. Not going to be able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Taken down at the 25-yard line by a couple Chicago Force players. On the bottom of that pile,
yeah,
Amber Kimbrough.
Bottom of the pile. I mean, she's the first one there. And, again, Amber's speed, she's really dynamic for the size that she has and the strength that she has. She is a quick-moving player and able to get to the ball fast.
So now on 4th down, 4th and 4, a long 4 at the 25. Again, 16-6. Boston has a 10-point lead with 11:18 to go second quarter. One of the big-time premier games in the WFA so far, Boston and Chicago. Yep. On 4th and 4.
We got Tammy Engelman in the defensive line.
A receiver to the left, one to the right. Cahill fakes the handoff. Moving to her right, tries to throw it out, and it's caught on the far sideline by Pelletier, but she's going to be 1 yard short of the first down.
Huge hit by Alicia Oakley right there. Just huge hit. Probably picked her up off the ground.
Well, it saved the first down for Boston. Whew. So Oakley makes the big play on 4th down. Chicago takes over. Under 11 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Boston has a 10-point lead.
Man, that is a huge confidence builder for Chicago Force defense right now. Very, very necessary for them to get reestablished in this game and dominate defensively. They got to turn this on. Got to keep the momentum here. The Chicago Force offense should make something happen here.
Gore will be back in the gun. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. See Lee is in motion to the far side. Handoff, Cassie Brick trying to get to the outside. She cannot. Huge play from D. Hort for Boston. Loss on the play on 1st down, back to the 20-yard line. Loss of 4. It's going to bring up 2nd down and long.
All right, we're going to have to come around here. I feel like we've had a little more success today outside of the tackles. Getting people around the corner, sort of on those plays to the outside. It's a tough day, at the line of scrimmage.
Gore back in the gun. Force trying to get something going. And now a handoff again, a little hesitation on that handoff, and going to be a loss again. This one back to the 15-yard line. Just 4 or 5 Renegades get in there for that tackle.
Yeah, it looked like Rachel Gore held onto the ball. A little indecision there with she and Cassie Brick.
D. Hort again on that tackle. We've got a Renegade down on the field.
Looks like that might be Tiana Liu.
I did not get the number.
It ends in a 5.
Well, wait. The medical staff really rushed that there pretty quickly. We'll see if she'll be again. All right. But what a game so far. 2 of the top teams in the WFA. Chicago Force, the home team, taking on the Boston Renegades, a team without a division.
Yep.
Picking up games. They're going to play 5 this season. In comparison, the Force are playing 8.
Yeah.
Taking on different teams who will take them on. They're going to take on the DC Divas again. That was Jen Dulski coming off the field for Boston. She seems to look okay.
Yeah. It's starting to rain pretty heavy out there in the field. Definitely making things a little more difficult.
But Chicago is backed up. It's almost 3rd and 18.
Whew, yeah.
They're going to spread it out. 5 wideouts. Gore, high snap. Has time to throw. He's going to throw it near sideline. Tried to throw it outside to Fornell. Incomplete. Good defense from Vicky Eddy.
Yeah, that was a wheel route that Jamie Fornell was running on, the counter to the slant by the slot receiver. A lot of times you see that very successful, that the defense gets mixed up in the coverage. But like you said, Andy, Vicky Eddy was all over it.
And if you're Jamie Fornell of Chicago, you're punting this one away, and you got to have something to back your mind of what's happened in the past. They blocked a punt that turned into a safety.
Thankfully, Jen Dulski's not in right now as the blocker previously. This is tough. She's going to concentrate on getting that ball.
Adrian Smith waits for it. And it's an okay kick off to the right.
Wow, bad bounce.
Takes a Boston bounce, a forced bounce, but it's going to be lead.
Was that it was any handling issues on that one, and she was able to get the ball looks solid. So hopefully that means that that facet of the game has been corrected moving forward here.
Spin Nightclub and DLG Management sponsor the Game Day MVP Award at the end of each home game. Spin Nightclub and DLG Management, they select an offensive and defensive player of the game. Also, don't forget Spin Nightclub. Fantastic sponsor of Chicago Force football. Cahill, handoff, Pelletier up the middle. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Not much there for Boston on first down. Chicago trying to keep the score right here, 10. A point lead for Boston, 16-6, 9-10 to go second quarter.
Great job there again by Kelsey Casey, really scooping her on the outside to make that tackle.
Kelsey Casey's had a fantastic year. Started this game, she had 23 tackles, including 5 for loss, including 2 interceptions.
She's all over the place this year, and it's seeing her. I was about to say dedicated to linebacker, but we also know that she's the 2-point conversion queen.
2nd and 10 from the Force 34. Pass, Cahill, far sideline. It's up in the air and kind of maybe got caught in the wind or deflected. It's going to be incomplete. They tried to get the pass out to Emily Beinecke. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, she was covered by Dorian Bridges on that play. Good, tight coverage on that one. So that's good to see as well.
Here's Boston now. You've had a couple opportunities, if you're a Renegade fan, where you've gotten some stops, but your offense hasn't been able to push that lead up. Chicago has made a stand here.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams kind of seem to be settling in a little bit more. Like maybe there were some nerves and a little bit of excitement catching people in the beginning of the game, but it's grinding out now. On
3rd and 10, Cahill has time to throw. Looking to throw, so it'll screen. Oh! Almost intercepted, incomplete.
Melissa Nelson
almost had her 3rd interception of the season, but she's not able to grab it. But what a play from Melissa Nelson to read that play, that screen coming out, and Boston's going to punt it away.
I think that really demonstrates a maturity of a linebacker when the screen does not fool you. That's when you know that you're kind of coming around and really starting to get into the nuances of the game. We talked about this last week. Coach Coleman has been so pleased with Melissa Nelson and her performance this year. That's great to see.
Emily Weinberg will kick it off.
It'd be nice to see us cleanly field this year.
Brick and Gray. Short punt.
Yep. Get away, get away, get away.
Bounces at the 25. And for some reason, one of the Force players went in there to try to grab it and recover it. They're going to say Chicago ball. Sarah Rogers, for some reason, thought about just picking it up. She's able to handle it for Chicago. And if you're a Chicago Force fan, you're kind of chewing a little bit, like you said, because it's not a play you want to make. But, again, Chicago has the ball back. 16-6 Boston with 8:16 to go second quarter.
That will be a very clear and a very stern conversation that occurs on the sideline in a couple seconds.
Rachel Gore's had a tough night so far.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. But, like we were talking about, the wind and the weather really been playing a big factor in the game today. So we'll see how much success we have now with the wind behind us.
Gore in the options. Going to switch it off and give it off to Cassie Brick. There's just nothing there.
Yep.
Stood up. First gained contact with Shantae Bonds. And the rest of her teammates came over to help her out. But, again, a loss on first down. A loss of 5. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 15 back at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, that's a tough play. I mean, we've been talking in the first few games about the success that Rachel has had with the read option. And what she's facing tonight is a disciplined Boston team. The defensive end and the outside linebackers know what their role is and know who their coverage person is. And getting those squeaky opportunities and the advantage.
Going here. In there. Yeah. For Boston, Jessica Penta comes up and just takes down Hatcher. Another loss on the play.
So we got to start thinking about the opportunities here. We've been trying to grind it out with the big offensive line, usually the bread and butter. Not quite getting that. The screen pass, clearly Boston is on top of and reading quite well. And the passing game is a challenge here. So the Force is going to have to dig deep into the playbook here.
You got to give a lot of credit to defensive coordinator Brielle Parker of Boston as the rain continues to come down here in Evanston. On 3rd and real long. Gore will move out to her left. Looking to throw, and it's almost intercepted, and it's caught on the deflection. deflection by Gray at the 40, 45, 50, 45. She's taken down from behind at the 40-yard line. It was tipped by a Renegade, and then Jay Gray picked it up, caught it. It was right in the spot to be there on the deflection. And a huge play for Chicago on 3rd and forever. Yep. They get a first down inside Boston territory.
Man, that is a huge opportunity for the Force offense. And, you know, those are going to be the kinds of plays today that you're going to have to capitalize on those small opportunities. Wow, what a break.
There's a flag on the play.
Oh.
The flag is going to be on Boston. Look, a sideline violation.
Oh.
So the ball is marked down at the 39-yard line for Chicago. They're trying to cut into this 10-point lead.
We need the momentum here.
Gore pitches it inside Brick at the 40. Tries to get outside at the 35. Breaks one tackle. Cuts back outside. Still on her feet. And just kind of slides inside the 31-yard line.
A lot of east-west action there on Cassie's part. But my goodness, like she has the ability to read and find those lanes. I think like no other running back I've ever seen. She's dancing all over the place.
D. Hort gets up slowly for Boston, but she's going to stay in the game.
Chicago's got to keep the momentum here. This is an important opportunity. Less than 6 minutes here and the clock to score. They need to get in the end zone here.
Gore, again, on a screen to Gray on the near side, incomplete. Gray didn't turn around quickly. There was some pressure coming from Boston.
Yep.
Incomplete. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 3.
All right. Hopefully this is a bread and butter play where we start bringing in the big offensive line and really start to push this ball through.
Well, you called for it, and you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Bunch formation.
Kelsey Casey's lined up behind Amber Kimber on the backfield, and Carolyn Lee's under center.
Well, Boston's going to take a timeout. They saw this play coming, and they want a little bit of time to discuss and see if they can stop Chicago on 3rd and 3. Ball marked at the 32-yard line with Boston having the lead. 16-6, 5:46 to go second quarter. Andy Garcia alongside Tricia Charbonneau. Appreciate you watching and listening tonight.
Yeah, the rain is really starting to come down, and the end of that play, Carolyn Lee came out with the ball coming around the corner there, and I can't remember if that's a little wrinkle to that particular play. Like if I remember seeing Sammy with the ball in that lineup, you know, years ago, that she would keep that, Sammy Grisafi, Chicago Force quarterback. She'd do the keeper on that play, actually, which was always, an interesting thing to see her pushing through.
Hope you're listening to the coverage on AM 1230 WJOB. Hammond, Indiana, the voice of the region. Also on YouTube. Chicago Force Football, their page.
This is our first live broadcast through the Force YouTube page.
I've been getting some texts.
Yeah?
Some people listening.
Oh, good.
And watching.
All right.
5:46 to go. Again, team's going to come out of their huddles on a big 3rd and 3. It's going to be the bunch formation. You see Boston, if you're watching on the stream, come out. Get set up trying to stop Chicago.
Same formation, so no change in the play.
They've tightened the bunch, and there's more Force players on the right-hand side. They're going to give it off to Casey. Breaks one tackle inside the 30-yard line on a first down for Chicago.
Yep.
Down at the 28-yard line, first down. Chicago continues the drive. Trying to cut into a 10-point lead for Boston.
Again, the Chicago Force offense, it'd be great to see them get the motor run in here and really start to establish themselves and start to move the ball down the field. Big defensive change of personnel on the Boston side of the ball.
Gore back in the gun. Has Brick to her right. She's moving left now. The pitch inside the Brick. At the 25, close to the 20. She's going to be marked down inside the 21-yard line. But we've seen that inside pitch.
Yep.
From Chicago. Absolutely. That one works well on first down.
You know, again, the Boston defensive end or, the outside linebacker that's on the line of scrimmage there is doing a great job of staying home, and that's what's keeping that play contained and keeping it from a big Chicago gain.
From the 22-yard line, Gore throwing it deep on the left side. Incomplete to Jay Gray. Gore had another problem on this one of grabbing the snap.
Yep.
Kind of squeezed out her hand like an orange, and she's able to hold on to it, but just that minute or pause that she's not able to get that timing down with Jay Gray on the far sideline that causes the incompletion.
It seems like she's rushing a little bit too, like not having a great hand on the ball, maybe not throwing it, having her fingers on the seam and, just trying to get it out of there. But, I mean, we can say that from up here.
A good defensive line will do that to you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's what Boston does have on 3rd and 3. Fake the handoff. Now throw it to the outside to Lee.
Come on, Carolyn.
At the 20. To the 15, then she just kind of dives.
Yeah.
With the ball to gain more yardage. She's going to be marked down at the 14-yard line. Carolyn Lee, though, with a nice catch for Chicago. First down for the Force.
Yep. Carolyn Lee is just a stalwart of the Chicago Force offense, and she's been around for several years now and is really a jack of all trades here in terms of our player personnel and can do so many things and runs under the radar, but is really a tough, gritty player.
From the 14 on first down for Chicago. Gore hands it.
Great
fakes
read.
It. Keeps it. At the 15, cuts inside, down at the 10-yard line. What a read from Gore. It looked like she had handed it off to Brick. Nope, she kept it. Good yardage on first down. She's going to be marked down just inside the 11-yard line.
Yep. That was probably one of the best reads we've seen her have all day. But she looked so confident in that situation and definitely was out there running. She's got to stretch and get out into that comfort zone and start to make things happen in the open field. She's the speed. She's got the toughness.
Second down from the 11. Brick, handoff. She's going to try to get to the outside. It's got a block at the 15. To the 10, and then she's pushed out of bounds on the near side at the 8.
That's a tough play for her. She'll dance all the way around, but even to the point of going sort of negative yardage trying to run around people. We'll see how that works for us.
Cassie Brick has been with a couple teams in the WFA, including the San Diego Surge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Won the championship.
Yep.
A couple years ago.
She was definitely a threat playing against us when we were at Heinz Field. Very talented.
So it's 3rd and 5. Pitch inside again, the Brick.
Block.
But the ball is forced out. Gore picks it up for Chicago. So Brick was close to being tackled.
Yep.
The ball squeezed out. Gore picked it up and tried to get some yardage, but she's going to be marked down at about the 10-yard line. So now it's 4th and 6.
Yep. That was a tough play right there because the pulling offensive lineman, there was 2 Boston players on the outside. The pulling offensive lineman, by rule, has to go for the inside blocker, which, unfortunately leaves the outside person free to make the tackle and knock the ball loose.
4th and 6 from the Boston 11-yard line as the rain continues to come down, and head coach John Konecki of Chicago wants to talk things over on this big 4th down with 2:53 to go, second quarter. Boston holding on to the 16-6 lead. All of our scoring came in the first quarter.
Oh, wow. Man, you look at the data, and that's what you find out, huh? So no scoring in the second quarter.
Not yet.
Well, we'll see what Coach Konecki does here. He's got, at least before the timeout, we had Rachel Gorin. She was still the quarterback, which in most of these sort of tight situations, we end up with the big package and Carolyn Lee under center. So I think we got 3-4 yards here to go. So likely a running player that dump
closer
pass.
to 6.
You think, 6?
Yeah,
sorry, it's the other way.
Almost 7, a long 6. They have to get to the 4-yard line to get a first down. The rain continues. I don't know if you can tell on the stream, but I can tell you as I look outside, there's puddles forming. And this is a fantastic turf here at Evanston Township High School here in Evanston, Illinois, where you're now starting to see puddles. So you know that the rain's been coming down.
Yeah, it definitely is. Just a mess out there. And boy, am I happy to be in the booth with you.
On 4th and 7, 4 receivers, 3 to the right. Gore moves to her right under pressure.
Come on, somebody get open,
Looking to throw. Just tried to get it out to Gray. Incomplete.
Yeah.
She was covered, and it would have been short of the first down anyways. So our Boston here makes a big stand on 4th down, and the Renegades will take over.
Yeah, great defensive coverage there from the Boston team, and that was going to be a tough play rolling out to that side for Rachel Gore. Tough to throw in the wind like this and make that happen.
Comparisons again? Chicago Force offense, #1 offense in the WFA, averaging 505 yards. They average almost 310 rushing yards a game.
Yep.
Boston, this defense stepped up. They usually give up about 17 points per game.
Yeah.
Right now they're looking to be at that margin, and look at that number. 2:43 to go second quarter, 16-6. Boston, they have the lead and the ball. They're pinned back at the 11. And how about this? I didn't even pick it up. I didn't see the flag. It was a penalty on Boston. My apologies. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So now it's 4th down at the 6. So it's 4th and 3. Here's that bunch formation. The pitch to Casey. Up the middle. She's got enough for the first down. I'm sorry. I did not get the penalty. I didn't hear the penalty. Either. But it was a 5-yard penalty on Boston. So on 4th and short, The bunch formation has enough for a first down. First and goal with 2.5 to go here, second quarter.
Wow.
What a huge penalty for Boston.
It's all the rain on the windows.
May have to open them up, and you know what that means. More wind. We may need to, though. Here's the bunch formation again. Lee. Force have a player in motion. Hand off to Casey. Tries to cut up inside. She's tripped up from behind. Just shy of the goal line. It's going to bring up second down and goal, and a nice play from Deanna Walsh.
Yeah.
From Boston.
The bread and butter here, again, was to continue. The Chicago Force continues to come in with this big offensive line package, a lot of down linemen on the I formation here in the backfield, and we got to continue to push this through. This is a one-to-one guts play.
Lee under center again, second and goal from the 2. Lee pitches it off to Casey again on the right side. She's tripped up, not able to get inside again.
Close. We're seeing a lot of penetration on that right-hand side from the Boston offensive line, or defensive line. They are push, which isn't creating enough space for Carolyn Lee to spin around, for Amber Kimber to get out to block for Kelsey Casey.
Vicky Eddy on that tackle. Shantae Bonds in that tackle. Back at the 2.
We need this here, Andy.
It's third and goal. 1:20 to go, second quarter. Lee, the quarterback, under center. Lost the ball, picks it up, has to give it off to Casey, and there's nothing there. Loss on the play.
Yeah.
Carolyn Lee couldn't handle the snap, had to pick it up. She tried to pitch it back out to Casey. Casey couldn't do anything with it. Yep. Boston stands on third down, and now we got fourth and goal under a minute to go before the half.
Wow. That was a tough play. It was a significant loss of yardage right there. Started out much closer to the end zone than we are standing now. And the Force, this is something we got to get before halftime. We need to get this score a little closer.
4th and 6. Gore's back in the gun. The Force spread it out. Force have a player in motion. Gore, pressure, up the middle. Tried to throw it up, and it's a fumble. Boston's got it, but it won't matter. It's 4th down, and Boston takes over on downs with under 30 seconds to go before the half. Boston makes a fantastic stand.
Wow. I mean, that's a tough play for the Force offense there. And, one of the things you're running into is people chasing after Rachel Gore right there, but then also the coverage on the receivers that were out was just outstanding.
Weather has played such a huge part in this game as the rain continues to come down, and Carolyn Lee not able to get the snap a couple times.
Yep.
Gore couldn't find anything there on 4th down. And now, if you're Boston, you just try to get out of this first half. You got the 10-point lead.
Yep.
You've done what you needed to do against the #1 offense in the Chicago Force here on the road.
Yeah.
And your offense is playing well. You've been able to move the ball, and they're just going to down it. They're not going to take too many chances here deep in their own territory.
Ooh, I kind of wondered about that, whether or not they felt like they had a grasp on the momentum and might really try to squeak something out here.
That's going to end the first half, and Allison Cahill has a passing touchdown. Boston got a blocked punt for a safety. Asante has a 3-yard touchdown run for Boston. She's been out with an injury late here in the second quarter.
Yep.
Cassie Brick, huge play for Chicago, a 76-yard touchdown run. And that's the score, 16-6, first 30 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't been able to tell if we've seen Jen Dulski come back. She was off the field earlier in the game too. But this is definitely, over the years, I think one of Coach Konecki's strengths has really, really, really been adjustments. And you know that they're going into the locker room, taking place. There's no, and it's let's get ourselves together. We know what to do. We have the skills to come through here.
Let's do this. Let's take a 3-minute timeout. 3-minute timeout. 3-minute break. We'll come back. We'll recap the first half. 3-minute timeout here at the half. Good one between Boston and Chicago. It's Boston 16, Chicago 6. You're listening to Chicago Force Football on chicagoforcefootball.com and AM 1230 WJOB. Welcome back to Evanston Township High School. Evanston, Illinois. I'm Andy Garcia, alongside former Chicago Force player, part of the 2013 National Championship, Tricia Charbonneau. And hey, so far so good. Alumni Day here for Chicago, but we knew this would be a good matchup. Boston and Chicago, 16-6. Renegades with the lead. What'd you see in that first half? Because Boston got the lead early. Chicago tried to fight their way back, but it really has gone back and forth. There was no scoring in the second quarter.
Yeah, it was a tough second quarter, and the weather definitely picked up here, as we saw. And it's raining out here pretty badly, and the ball was a little harder to handle in the second quarter, and so the scoring fell off a little bit. But the halftime adjustments are going to make a big difference.
Yeah, the weather, the rain's still coming down. Feels like 35 degrees out here in Evanston, Illinois, and you saw it be a big part of that play in the first half. We saw some drop snaps, we saw some drop passes, and the weather has been a factor in this game.
Yeah, it's really been affecting all the little things. We're talking about botched punts, bad snaps, drop passes. There's also been some fumbling happening. Thankfully, it's been recovered by those original teams, but it's definitely hard to be out there today.
Well, we saw Boston get on the board first. Cahill gets the touchdown pass to Adrian Smith. Cahill to Smith. That's what you want to see if you're the Boston offense.
Yeah, but Chicago, boy, are we happy to have Cassie Brick out there for us. That just goes to show she ran for a 76-yard touchdown, one play by the offense to get on the board there, and she's just electric, continuing to show that as we go through the game today.
When we see games like this, sometimes it comes down to special teams.
Yeah.
Boston has made a play so far. Jen Dulski, a former Force player, got the blocked punt in the end zone, a safety, made it 9-0 at the time for the Renegades, and you're going to need all three phases to play well in a big-time game like this.
You will, and Chicago's had a hard time sort of with that short yardage package. We did not get the two-point conversion when we scored in the first quarter there, and so we're going to have to continue to pound and make some adjustments here in the second half.
Chicago's offense has had, as you mentioned, Cassie Brick had the 76-yard touchdown run, but Rachel Gore's had a tough first 30 minutes. It's been a little bit of the wet ball. She's been able to, she's dropped a couple snaps, but she's just not been able to get consistent. She's not been able to get that ball going, and you're hoping that running game, if you're a Force fan, can start to get moving for Chicago and maybe take the pressure off of Rachel Gore a little bit.
Yeah, I think the tough part about a day like today, and we just can't stop talking about the weather, is that it doesn't give us the opportunity to open up the passing game, which is the ultimate key to the running game. And so when you're having a hard time connecting with outstanding players like Jay Gray, we haven't had the opportunity to call Jeanette Gray's name today for a big touchdown or a big gain, except on the one fumble bounced off somebody's hands kind of play. When you're losing that phase of the game, it puts a lot more pressure on the other part, and the running game is what's suffering today.
Well, we know Whitney Zealy is out for Boston, one of the top running backs in the league. Asia Sante was hurt. We haven't seen her come back. Jen Dulski, we mentioned her get the block punch. She hasn't come back. So, and also, injuries and play out.
On the Chicago Force side, we need to watch out for that and deteriorate outside. That's going to be
the story in the first half as a lead 16-6. We'll come back. Another 3-minute break. 3-minute break on the radio, also here on the stream. We hope you're enjoying watching and listening to Chicago Force football. Women's football lines, two of the top teams in the league. Boston Renegades and the Chicago Force. A good 30 minutes. We're looking forward to the second half. Boston leads 16-6. More football to come. You're listening and watching Chicago Force football on ChicagoForceFootball.com on AM 1230 WJOB. Welcome back at the half from Evanston Township High School, Evanston, Illinois. Chicago Force football taking on the Boston Renegades. Boston with the lead, 16-6 so far. I'm Andy Garcia. That's Tricia Charbonneau. Want to help and thank the staff. How about Chuck Pullen directing on the website and the web stream? Christina Cortez doing the producing back in the. I mean, we're multifunctional.
I mean,
my
gosh.
Radio and TV. You can't see Jeff Corey. He's doing one of the cameras. You can't see Matt McClendon. He's doing one of the cameras. We appreciate their help. But let's get back to the game, all right? We're at the half, 16-6, Boston. Alumni game.
Yep.
All right, so all the alumni come back for Chicago, and they just got recognized here on the field at halftime, and big-time number came back.
Yep.
In weather like this, it's great to have a matchup taking on Boston, but it's great to see all the alumni come back. They're such a huge part, including yourself, what make this organization so great.
You know, it's so important to all the current players to really see the prior players and those people that have been supporting the organization for many years. It's important to see them out on the field and continue the traditions that those people established within the organization, and it continues to set the standard for excellence that the organization maintains.
And we mentioned the game to come back to, taking on Boston.
Yeah.
Where Boston and Chicago have had such a huge history, especially in the postseason. We mentioned both teams since 2011 really have taken on each other in the playoffs, and both teams. Boston 3 national championships in 7 years. The Force beat Boston on their way to the championship in 2013. So when you have a game like this, it really highlights the WFA women's tackle football. You're seeing more leagues, you're seeing more women's teams grow around the nation, and Force and Boston really in the best league right now. Women's Football Alliance, really known as the top-notch league for women's tackle football in the United States.
Yeah, and I mean, this rivalry here with Boston and Chicago is definitely a really great example of, seeing the high quality, the best levels of athletes and the best level of players compete. And, any of the Force fans out there that have been really watching us over the past few years, 2012, we played Boston here at Evanston High School and won in a 35-34 game, which that was something that many of the alumni talked to me about. Was that specific game was really the intensity, the building up of the sort of mission of the entire season was to get to the national championship for the first time in the organization's history, and to really get into a grinded out battle with the Boston team in that game. That was really just a cornerstone of the rivalry, I would say.
The weather's looking like it might get a little bit better. Right now it's still raining. I'm looking to the west, though. Looks like clear skies. Look, I see a little bit of a sunset. So hopefully, I think for both teams, the weather kind of clears up a little bit. It's been a little bit of sloppy football, but if you're Boston, you'll take this. You're up by 10 on the road.
Absolutely. I mean, the importance of today's game for the Force is really the margin. As the Massey ratings, and, for those of you out there watching, the understanding of the Massey ratings has to do with, strength of schedule and a whole bunch of other factors. And so it's important for the Force today to start putting some points on the board, not only to win, but to extend that margin.
It involves a lot of ones and zeros.
Yeah, totally.
Ratings and counting rocks. You got these ratings.
Satellites, planets.
A win for either of these teams is huge as we look at both. You think both of these teams are going to make the playoffs. Boston, if they lose, would be 2-2.
Yeah.
They take on the DC Divas, who beat them earlier in the season, but both of the teams deserve to be in the playoffs.
Yes.
Even if Boston may have a 2-3 record or a 3-2 record, Chicago's going to be in there. They've won their 8th straight division.
Yes.
That's not too bad, not too shabby. So Chicago's going to be in there, but a win after this can just move you so forward and really can move you in the right direction the rest of the way, especially as we get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that's been a little bit of a change to the schedule in the past few years is that, historically, Chicago has faced teams like Boston, only in the postseason. Yeah. And in the past 2 seasons, I think it's been, the league has encouraged that matchup in the course of the season, in the regular season, which, is good sort of for the course of football and to see that level of competition. But it's also bad because it's detrimental to your Massey ratings, and so it's a delicate dance, I think, in sort of seeing that matchup.
As I've talked to head coach John Konecki of the Force, you play who's on your schedule.
Yeah.
If you have to win 72-7 to do that, you do. But they are taking on Boston, they're taking on some of the better teams, and you know what? That can only help you as you move and get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah,
right?
Today's a definite challenge for the Force. I mean, this is the first time all year no one has scored this many points on them. They've already beat the average, number of points that they give up. The Chicago Force defense gives up in a game. But to be in a hole like this, it's almost a situation they need. And guns blazing. And
so reach out to us, all right?
Yeah.
Facebook, Chicago Force Football's on Facebook. Reach out to us. I'm on Twitter at A Garcia in Sports. At A Garcia in Sports. And I know you're on Twitter as well.
I am. My handle is at tsharp79 on Twitter and also on Instagram. So, yeah, we'd love to get any questions or comments that everybody has out there watching.
Let's take a 3-minute timeout. We come back. We'll start the second half. At the half, Boston has the lead, 16-6 over Chicago. Second half is coming up. As you're listening and watching Chicago Force Football on chicagoforcefootball.com and AM 1230 WJOB.
Huh. 59 people watching.
We're just about to start the tackle football. It's now
Momentum. I think roll that momentum. Of course, he needs to get that going. So, come out, guns blazing here.
Chicago Force Football brought to you by Hard Water Bar and Grill, by Spin Nightclub and DLG Management, by Rayla and Associates, and by Midwest Orthopedics at Rush. All the scoring happened in the first quarter.
Yep.
Boston had it up to 16-0. There was no scoring in the second quarter, and the score has been 16-6 since the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a tough day out there on the turf, and hopefully the second half here is going to move quickly.
16-6 Boston holding on to the 10-point lead. Cassie Brick and Jeanette Gray back deep for Chicago. Boston will kick it off.
It'd be interesting to see which side of the field Boston decides to favor here in terms of the kick. Both sides are dangerous. Jay Gray's side, near side.
The rain is still from Goodman. Breaks the hard line. Drive.
Some action happened. Defense.
Three receivers to the left, one to the right. Chicago will spread it out.
Yep.
Head coach John Konecki rolled over on the Renegade player. I mean, she may not have been down. Gore is still taking it towards the end zone.
Was keep the ball on that option opportunity. Very often she was tossing it to the outside, flicking it to the middle, so that keeper there is good for her.
It's very tough for a team to defend the option.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of teams with this type of option, so I like what head coach John Konecki has done for Chicago to try to switch it up a little bit. We saw it again in the first half, but it looks like they want to make it more of a point here as we start the second half, as the injured Renegade is still on the field. I did not get the number, so we'll wait.
Yeah. It's, I think maybe that's something that I would like to see out of the Force offense in the second half, as a little more variety. I think keeping the Boston defense sort of guessing and still having to address and change personnel based upon the multiple offensive formations that Chicago's offering is one of the ways that they're going to be able to keep them off balance and start to be able to make some headway in the middle of the field.
Looks like the injured Renegade is at least
good.
Middle Chicago.com. Fantastic website. Glad the world could see this one tonight between the Boston Renegades and the Chicago Force.
Yep. I'm trying to check out the Boston Militia huddle here and see if we've got Asia Asante back.
It's Jen Dulski who is the injured Renegade. So she's up again, walking on her own to the far sideline in the Renegade bench.
That's the second time we've seen her get walked off the field tonight.
She's being walked off. They are watching her carefully.
Yeah.
So bring up second down. Gain of 4 on first down for the Force.
Yeah.
Ball's marked at the 42 of Chicago. Gore back in the gun about 5 yards deep. Brick is to her right. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. The Force moving left to right here in the second half. The pitch out to Brick. At the 40, Brick's a tackle at 45, then pushed out of bounds right at midfield.
Yep.
Brick with the nice carry. Gets a first down for Chicago. And it continues to drive as this is the first drive in the second half. Boston's got the lead 16-6.
This is another thing that we're starting to see happen here that Chicago needs to continue to do in this. No huddle, quick to the line, start to push the tempo of this game.
Quick at the 40.
Menzik. Yep. She's got one, but I know that's just going to be a tough part of today. And, one of the things that Boston, I think, is notorious for is they're coming in, fists when they're tackling. They're going to punch that ball out, and they're going to continue to do that.
Gain of 9 on first down. Second down and 1 at the 41-yard line of Boston. Again, 3 receivers to the left for Chicago. Gore in the gun. Nice snap. Keeps it again. Tries to go up the middle. She stood up right at the 40-yard line. We'll see if it's enough for the first down.
I hope it was. I think
close.
She got enough forward progress there. There was a veteran,
first down.
Rosalind Bennett. Haven't heard that
I
name
haven't
in
heard
a while.
Roz Bennett in a long time.
Yeah.
Good to see Roz Bennett back.
Yeah, out there, standing up the end of the line of scrimmage right there to create that space for Rachel to get up there. Chicago
gets just enough for a first down at the 40-yard line. Again, Chicago spreads it out. Gore in the gun. She's got Brick to her left on 1st and 10. Gore with the nice snap. Looking to throw. She's going to run at the 40 and just stood up.
Yeah.
Again in the tackle is Shantae Bonds. Bonds didn't let Gore go anywhere, and she lost maybe a yard, half a yard, so it's going to bring up second down.
Yep. Again, we're continuing to try to push it to the outside there. Boston being very disciplined, lengthening out the line of scrimmage, really pushing things to the sideline.
So second down and 11. The first 15 to go. Third quarter. Chicago spreads it out. She moves to her left, looking to pitch it, and does. Kelsey Casey cuts inside, now out at the 35. Cuts back at the numbers on the far side in the 30. Still pushing the pile. And that was a tough little jump pass from Gore.
Yep, that was Cassie Brick actually there, dancing around. Man, I mean, she just continues to move the ball around. What a valuable weapon she is, and able to make so many people miss and create opportunities out of thin air. Looks, I think, defensive providers.
One hand up for the first down on the far side by the numbers. Gets up to the 27-yard line of Boston.
I think that's one of the first times we've seen Brandy Hatcher handle the ball today.
Excuse me, that was first down. That was a second. That's going to bring up 6 yard. So far, Chicago Force team. You be ready. And I don't like saying this type, but it's a fist fight.
Yeah.
You really do. It's a physical game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the nature of, I would say, the entire organization, but very specifically of the identity of the offensive line is very blue-collar, and it's very much one-on-one battles. And there's a toughness that they have bred over the course of their playing together that definitely makes a difference and, is what they're really bringing to the fight.
Shayna Seegers was the injured Renegade. She goes to the far sideline. Medical staff will take a look at her. It's 2nd and 7. Ball is marked at the 27-yard line. Gore back in the gun. She's got 2 backs with her. Hand off. Nope. Yep. Hand off on the far sideline. Cuts it up at the left hash mark. Inside the 20-yard line.
Again, leading the charge right there. Bennett.
It was Brandy Hatcher. So it's a first down for Chicago. The force of really second
ball here.
From the 19-yard line of Boston. Chicago on the move. First hand off to Hatcher again. Tries to bounce it out to the outside, far side. And she gets inside the 20. She may have gone back to the line of scrimmage.
Yep, that was a tough play there. Out in front of her was number 91, Tammy Engelman, and Amber Kimbrough. And boy, Andy, look at the rain coming down here.
You can see it on the web stream. You can't see it too well on the radio.
Yeah.
But we can tell you that it's raining.
Trust, you don't want to know it.
You know who's been in a lot of plays tonight for Boston is Shantae Bonds.
Yeah.
She's really made some big plays, and she was in again on that tackle. It's down in 10 from the 9. Up. I don't have a number for.
Yeah.
She was in there on the tackle. Good play from her.
She's been in a couple of tackles today, actually. I've been looking for her number, so I wonder who it is.
Only a gain of 1 up to the 18, so a big third down play for Chicago. Inside the 20-yard line of Boston. Boston has a 10-point lead. We have 9:23 to go, third quarter. Gore waits for the snap. On the option to the far side, she pitches it off to Cassie Brick. at the 15, tries to cut it past and back up. Still, she brought it up. It is a player. Right.
No.
Again on 6 minutes, 10 seconds on this drive so far.
Man, that's what we needed to have happen here in the second half.
First and goal from the 9.
Come on, Rachel.
Gore fakes the pitch. Takes it to the right-hand side. She stood up at the end zone. She gets into the touchdown.
Ah, that's what we needed.
What a run from Rachel Gore from 9 yards out. And it's now 16-12.
All right.
With the PAT to come.
Hey, a little bit of fire here. That's what we needed to come out into the third quarter, pushing the ball, pushing the ball, pushing the ball.
A 6-minute, 25-second drive. Chicago on the first drive of the second half gets the touchdown. It's 16-12 Boston with the PAT to come.
All right, 2 points is very important here. We need to make sure we get this.
It's now the 10th rushing touchdown for Rachel Gore this season.
Ah, man, she's been working hard, and it's good to see her get some confidence out here in that first drive.
On the 2-point conversion, Chicago's going to spread it out. It's going the gun. She has a snap, little pitch inside the brick. She's not going anywhere.
No.
Good defense from Boston. She might have gotten back to the 2-yard line, and that's it.
Yeah.
So with 8:35 to go in the third quarter, Boston 16, Chicago 12.
You know, I think that kind of play right there really demonstrates what Cassie Brick brings to the Chicago Force offense. That kind of play right there is stretching out the Boston defense, really pushing it sideline to sideline. And what Cassie brings, her, I guess, sort of her scenario, is her ability to change directions and find the open holes. Out like that, she can be patient and let the gaps. It gives her the opportunity to squeak through.
Just tonight. Opportunity. Oh, good.
No good.
You get 2 points. You're tied up right now.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be, it's those little things that we're talking about as we look through the game that are going to be the big difference makers here in a tight matchup.
You know what? People are watching. I told you the Twitter.
Yeah.
People are out on Twitter. @AGarcia in sports. @AGarcia in sports. And Sharp, you give out yours again.
Yeah, I'm @TSharp79. So we'd love to hear from you guys. And I got to give my parents a shout out right now. Hi, guys. I love you.
Well, on the kickoff, Boston's not able to grab it in the air. He was tried to be caught at the 20. The receiver for the Renegades couldn't keep it in her hands. It slips back all the way to the 5 line.
Yeah.
So 5. It was kicked it off. Grab it to the 5.
So, opportunity in the second half of the Chicago Force. The defense, a stick here, a big play, a big sack, something. It would be great to see a safety and get back to those points we've been missing.
So Boston is pinned. Back deep. Allison Cahill.
Got a one-on-one matchup on the near side with Adrian Smith.
In the gun. Hands it off to Pelletier. She'll try to get to the outside. And maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Alicia Okri tried to take her down from behind. A couple of Force players got in on there. Abby Pelletier was busy in the first half. She comes out on the first play of the second half for Boston with another carry.
Yeah.
She lost a yard. Nope, took that. She gained a yard, so it's going to be 2nd down to 9.
So it looks like, at least thus far, we have not seen Asia Asante come back out.
No. Asante has not come back out. Asante, after the loss of Whitney Zealy, was a top running back for Boston. She's been out. She got hurt in the first half. Hand off this time. Middle.
Athleticism. I think when I saw her play safety or cornerback or something like that, she was a defensive player. And, you know, clearly she's a multi-talented weapon for the Force.
3rd down and 9 at the 6. This would be a big play for Chicago. Get the game. near side. One tackled and gain tackled at the 19. And she might just be short, or she got it by just a hair.
Yeah.
It's going to be close. And if it's fourth down, nope, they're going to say first down.
Yep, moving the
chains.
Nice
run from Abby Pelletier, Boston. And they got a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, I think if we could roll that back, we would see that the Boston offense was able to come around and get the reach block on the Chicago Force defensive end, which seals off all the pursuit from the inside and opens up that outside corner.
16-12. We knew this would be a close game.
Yep.
We knew this would be a four-quarter game. And it's looking like it's going to be like that.
You're feeling the momentum again, kind of generate and roll up behind Boston. Chicago, we just got to keep pursuing and continuing to step up.
Cahill hands it out to Pelletier. She'll get it to the outside on the far side. Nice run.
Yep.
She's pushed out of bounds, but not before she gains 11. Another first down for Boston.
There's a lot of pursuit on that play, but you could see coming from the inside linebacker that had taken an inside path to the ball, a little short-circuited. It ended up running behind the play. So it's all about choosing the right lane when you're coming in as a linebacker.
6:16 to go. The clock is now running again here in the third quarter.
So the Force defense again here. Again, the wind is blowing, but they really got to take advantage of Boston sort of being behind the gun here and having to recover from that last score.
It's 1st and 10 from the 29. From Pelletier. Look, Boston. She gets another.
Yep.
Moves the chains. Ball is at the 32-yard line of Boston, but they continue to have the ball.
Boston's making a clear commitment to the running game here and clearly going, on the back of Pelletier there. So Chicago's really got to continue to be disciplined on the offensive line. That's where stopping that on the defensive line, excuse me. That's where, shutting this running game down is going to start.
1st and 10. Hand off. Pelletier again. This to the left side. She's pushed down. Good play by Melissa Nelson. She got up to the 30. She lost yardage. Melissa Nelson with a nice play. Loss of 2. 2nd down and 12.
It's good to see Melissa Nelson's number get called. She's out there working hard, leading the defense, making the plays out, making the calls out there for the.
Melissa Nelson had a opportunity. Second. Field. Chicago says they've got it.
Yep.
Do they have it?
They do.
It's picked up by Chicago. On the bottom of the pile.
Okri.
It's Alicia Okri. So Pelletier got the handoff. She fumbled it. Okri has it for Chicago, and a huge play for the Chicago defense.
Yep.
They now get the ball back deep in Boston territory with a chance to take the lead.
Man, this could be a turning point here in this game. We've got to see the Chicago offense come out here and just slam it into the end zone.
Ball is marked at the 25-yard line with 4:33 to go, third quarter. 16-12, Boston has the lead, but Chicago back with the ball.
Thinking about Rachel and the
Gore back. She'll keep it. At the 10. Three yards out. Rachel Gore with her second rushing touchdown. And it's now Chicago with the 18-16 lead.
That's what we needed to have happen here. It was a great play. And again, we're starting to see Rachel Gore hold the ball and choose to keep it in that option opportunity here in the second half. Something she did not do in the first half. Very much dish. Coach Konecki in that situation went back to Cassie Brick in the backfield. We had previously been seeing Brandy Hatcher. And so now we're moving forward again. Oh, we're in the gate.
This is the gate. So this is a 2-point PAT again. Will they snap it from here? Before they can, the Force will take a timeout.
Yeah.
On the special teams, head coach Don Konecki calls for a timeout. The first timeout of the second half. It comes with 3:56 to go in the third quarter. Chicago has scored again. Rachel Gore with her second rushing touchdown of the second half. It's 18-16 Chicago, and the teams will talk it over on this two-point conversion.
Yeah. One of the things, Coach Konecki, I think that was an opportunity right there for him to really sort of continue the momentum and sort of throw some tricks in with the Boston defense there, kind of catch them off guard. And so I'll be interested to find out if needing to use that timeout right here is going to be costly in the end of the game.
Chicago has not been able to get it in on two-point PATs.
Yep.
They will try to on this one. For 24 years, Raylan Associates PC has assisted residential and commercial property owners to successfully appeal their taxes. Go to RaylanAssociatesPC.com for assistance with tax relief. You know it's a big game. Look at all the media up here. We got press pass people up here. I mean, it's a big game.
It is.
We got documentaries being filmed. It's a big one.
Yep.
On the two-point PAT. Gore tries to take it up the middle. She stood up at the 1-yard line. Can't get in for the two-point PAT. That's the third time Boston has stopped a two-point PAT from Chicago. So Chicago has the lead by 2. 18-16. They have to give it back to Boston.
Yeah. I mean, that's 6 points you're talking about there. I mean, essentially that's a touchdown today. So, Boston's doing a great job of keeping the force at bay.
Chicago takes the lead. 18 unanswered points now for Chicago. Boston had the 16-0 lead.
Well, and here we go again, kicking off with the wind. So, see that again here. The Boston important.
I've going. She moves
near sideline to the far. Of the pile over there that was getting a teeny bit out of hand.
Papers are flying. The rain is still flying.
We haven't seen a whole lot from Adrian Smith yet in the second half here from on the Boston offense. Not a lot of jet motion as we were seeing, a lot of that stretching it out.
She's dropped a couple. They were early in the first half.
Yeah.
She does have a touchdown pass from Cahill. It was 8 yards. That got the score going.
Yeah.
So from the 35-yard line, Cahill will be in the gun. Hands it off.
Oh, a lot of force in the middle.
Running back. This one's going to be stopped maybe at the line of scrimmage. The carrier was, I believe, number 56. Yes. And that is Kate Mikowski.
Yeah.
She gained or lost the yard, so it's going to bring up second down and 11. Mikowski got that carry. Maybe a little change of pace for Boston.
Yep.
She did have 22 rushing yards coming into this game.
Yeah. So maybe giving Pelletier a little bit of a break here in this series.
Pelletier also did fumble. Here's a handoff to Pelletier.
She's got the ball now, though.
On the far sideline. Bounces it to the outside. She's pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
Yep. Great job by the force defense there. That's definitely something that you like to see from the defensive side of the ball, is when those running backs have to rest.
She was trying to get it to.
I think to a certain extent she may have heard some footsteps there coming from Janie Formal and Jill Araki right there. They were definitely in the mix.
So on the 4th down and 8, Boston will punt it away. Back deep for the force at their own 30-yard line is Cassie Brick on the far side. On the near side is Jeanette Gray. Gray's going to move up just a little bit because of that wind going against Boston. Emily Weinberg back deep to punt. It's a lob, but she's able to get it off.
Ooh.
Not a great punt. Nope. It goes off the side of her foot. It bounces at the 45, and that's where it's going to be touched by Boston. So not much on that punt. Chicago will start inside Boston territory on this drive with 2:02 to go in the third quarter. 18-16 Chicago with the 2-point lead.
All right, we continue to grind it out here. And again, another opportunity is presented for the Chicago Force offense to start making a difference in the game. They got to take advantage of this 2-point lead, start creating some distance from the Boston Renegades.
You're talking about the last two national champions.
Whew.
The Force in 2013, the Renegades in 2014. They were the Boston Militia back then and last year. On 1st and 10. Gore moves to her right. The pitch again. This is going to be a forward pitch. This is incomplete.
Yep.
I believe she tried to get it to Brick.
Yep.
But it is a forward pass, so incomplete. We've seen that play a lot from Chicago. A little pitch inside.
Yep.
This time it took a little bit longer because it looked like the Boston defense has seen it enough. They saw that it was coming.
Yeah, it did seem like it took some time to develop, and it took some time for there to be, the appropriate action for Rachel to make a decision on whether or not to pitch that. Again, Coach Connect has come back with the defense or the backfield with Amber Kimbrough and Cassie Brick. Before we were seeing the team march down the field with Brandy Hatcher.
This handoff is to Hatcher. Nice run on the far side.
Yep.
Close to a first down.
Brandy's doing a great job tonight, really moving with the offensive linemen. I think one of her real strengths that nobody really talks about is her ability to really guide them. They can feel her hand on their back, and she's really pushing them in the direction she wants them to go.
Ball's at the 36-yard line, so it's 3rd and 1. Gore, handoff. Hatcher, far sideline, tries to bounce it out. It's got enough for the first down, and she's taken down after the first down play. Again on the tackle is Shantae Bonds, but not before the Force have a first down.
Yep, that was she just made the wrong decision right there, bounce to the outside. She had Amber Kimbrough and Roz Bennett coming around the inside corner. That's where the lane was.
Chicago trying to add to their 2-point lead with just over 1 minute to go in the third quarter. It's 1st down and 10 from the 34. Gore fakes the handoff, moving to her right, looking to throw. Caught by Lee at the 30. Cuts it inside to the 25. She's taken down there by Amy Sauer, but close to another first down. That's a nice play as Gore faked the handoff through to the right side to Carolyn Lee. She's got another catch, and it's just short of a first down, or is it going to be enough for a first down?
Looks like we might just be a hair off.
It is. It's going to bring up 2nd and 1 from the 24-yard line.
It was nice to see that play turn out successfully. It was kind of drawn out and took some time to develop.
This time, Gore can't handle the snap. Ball is on the floor, and her knee is down with the ball, so that's where it's going to be down. But, again, a bad center to quarterback connection.
Yep. I mean, it's you're going to have days like that, right? And today, I mean, just with this rain out here, it's definitely tough out there.
It's a big loss. Almost a loss of 5. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6 back at the 31-yard line. Gore can't handle this snap again. Trying to pick it up. Down on the knee. And the third quarter is going to end with 2 bad snaps from Chicago. It's really taken them out of anything they can do on this drive. It will bring up 4th down. They're going to say the ball is going to be marked at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, it's almost too bad in that situation we didn't let the quarter run out, sort of get some time to regroup, dry hands, clean ball, that kind of stuff. So
it's the top of the hour, so an ID for WJOB. Hammond, Indiana, 12:30 a.m., the voice of the region. Glad you're watching on ChicagoForceFootball.com on the YouTube channel if you're listening and watching on Chicago Force Football, and also listening on the radio on 1230. Christina Cortez back in the WJOB studios. Chuck Pullen directing things here for us on the web stream. Jeff Corey, Mac McClendon, working hard on the cameras, and as you can see from the camera work, it's still raining.
Yeah. I mean,
still coming down. So my what would you call it, psychic reading of having a sunset?
Yeah, exactly.
Really didn't work.
I didn't want to say it then, but yeah, it is still a mess out here. I mean, even in the booth, for heaven's sakes, it's my
water's all over the place. My paperwork is, I mean, it's
damp.
Drenched, yeah. Don't forget, we've got more Chicago Force football coming for you on the radio.
Yeah.
The next game will be on June 13th. The Force will take on the St. Louis Slam. It will end the regular season. The Force will be back in the playoffs. So me and you will be back in, 2 weeks?
Yeah, just
June
about,
13th. Yeah. And I believe that's a 5 p.m. game back at Lane Stadium.
It is. Yep, we'll be back at Lane Tech, yeah.
So let's get back to action here. It's 4th and long. 4th and 14. Gore in the gun. Ball is at the 44-yard line of Boston. They're just going to hand it off to Brick. Brick trying to break a couple tackles. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Good play from the Renegades defense. They get a stand on 4th down, and they're going to take over.
That's too bad. There's a little missed opportunity there, but, you know, the Chicago Force defense is going to have to come out strong here in the 4th quarter to keep this game moving.
14:50 to play, and Boston gets it back. They have the chance to take the lead. It's 18-16 Chicago. Keep in the back of your mind, as my face is about to freeze from the wind, that Chicago has not been able to get into the 2-point PATs on 3 attempts. That's 6 points. That would be huge right now.
On the table, yeah. I mean, and, you know, we started out the broadcast talking about those little tiny things and about how important those are going to become today.
Cahill's looking to throw, middle of the field, incomplete. It looked like Oakrey may have got a hand on it.
Yep.
She's being congratulated at the 41-yard line. Incomplete pass. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for Boston. At their own 41-yard line, 14:44 to go in this one. 18-16, Chicago has the 2-point lead.
Yeah, and Boston feeling the pressure now, right down by 2. Earlier, you know, we were talking about it in the 3rd quarter. They were stretching out the clock, really letting it run. And, you know, they're not in dire straits right now, but they certainly need another score.
Boston will stretch it. 2 receivers each side on the left and the right. Boston moving left to right on the radio dial. Cahill tries to throw the slant to Smith. A little bit too high again in the middle of the field. Incomplete. It's going to bring up 3rd down. So 2 incomplete passes here.
Yep. But that was definitely a matchup that was a good one for Boston. You know, we had Adrian Smith and Kelsey Casey was the covering linebacker. It's always a tough position for somebody from the inside to cover a speedy person like Smith.
3rd and 10 now from their 41. Time is dwindling down. You're not going to get many more opportunities.
Yep.
You're talking about 2 good defenses going at it.
Absolutely. And I think the forces, you know, really sort of stiffened up here in the 2nd half. Really put into the Boston offense.
So Boston will spread it out again. Cahill in the gun, about 5 yards deep. She gets a perfect snap. Looking to throw. Has time. Now she's going to try to run. And she's tripped up.
Melissa Nelson.
Melissa Nelson trips her up at the 40-yard line. A loss of 1. And Boston's going to have to punt it away. It's going to bring up 4th down and 12.
Man, that could be a defining play here because, you know, we have not seen Allison Cahill really run today. But Melissa Nelson getting in hand and tripping her up saved a big, big gain.
I think it's too early to fake anything here.
Yeah.
You're only down by 2 on the road. No need to take that chance yet.
Yep. I mean, it's a difficult position. I mean, considering how well the punting has not been great.
Weinberg gets a nice punt off.
Yep, that'll do it.
They do have the wind going in their favor. See where the Zebras on the far side want to say it went out? They're going to say it went out at the 36-yard line. So Chicago will start over there with 13:47 to go in the 4th. Chicago 18, Boston 16, and we're looking forward to a fantastic end to this one. Isn't it about time you came off injured reserve? Schedule a complimentary injury screen at any of our convenient locations and receive personal attention by a licensed medical professional. Complimentary injury screens are free, easy to schedule, and most importantly, provide you with peace of mind. Call 1-877-ATHLETICO or visit us online at athletico.com to find a location near you. Athletico, the official provider of physical therapy and athletic training to the Chicago Force.
There was an option play right there where Rachel decided not to keep it nor toss it to the running back. She actually threw sort of a back foot pass to C. Lee, who made a diving catch for just a couple of yards gain, I think.
I'm going to say she got back to the line of scrimmage. Yeah. So it's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. The Renegades defense looking for a stop. Chicago trying to push this lead out more. Gore in the gun. She's got 3 receivers to the right as the Force move right to left here in the 4th. Gore was trying to throw under pressure, able to get away from that pressure, now throws it down the middle of the field, no one there.
Too bad Carolyn Lee looked like was open on that.
Well, it looked like Gore was going to be sacked.
Yeah.
There were a couple Renegades there to make the tackle. Gore was able to get away from that, move to her right.
We've got a penalty flag.
We have a flag on the play. Exactly 13 minutes to go in the game.
Do you feel like that's a long time or a short time?
I think with these 2 offenses,
yeah,
you see how many drives you get back.
Based upon the weather, it feels like a long time. Penalty was on the Force there. Go back to second down.
Legal receiver downfield. So it's going to bring up 7 down and 15. Back at the 36-yard line. So penalties have been a factor in tonight's game.
They sure have.
As Gray is in motion. Hand off the brick. Up the middle. 35, 40, 45. She drags a couple Renegades almost close to midfield. And Cassie Brick just showed the speed in the middle of the field. First down, Chicago.
Very important first down right there. Also important that it's a running down to keep that clock moving.
Clock is at 12:45, 18. She's to the 4.
She's trying.
Down. Going the gun. She's looking over the sideline to Konecki, see if they want to change the play up. In motion is Gray to the near side. They try to get her the handoff, and it slips out of her hands. Gore picks it up back at the 45-yard line of Chicago. A loss on the play, a huge loss.
Yeah.
Loss of 7. And again, Boston's defense, they put so much pressure on you, but it was just one of those jet sweeps. They're trying to get it to Jay Gray going down the near side.
Yep.
And again, the handoff wasn't there. The weather playing a part again as the rain continues to fall here in Evanston.
Yeah, I'm sure hands are cold, arms are slick. You know, it's a tough time out there. And I think we're actually starting to see more of Jamie Fornell in motion actually as well. You know, she's fast coming around that corner.
This one is 3rd and 14. Gore on the option. She'll pitch it to Brick. She's not able to pick it up. She has to go down on the field to get it, and she's taken down right there. So again, the weather playing havoc on the handoffs, on the snaps, and on 4th and real long, Chicago is going to try to punt it away. Under 11 minutes to go, 4th quarter.
Yeah, it looked like that pitch maybe was a teeny bit behind Brick there, and she was having to turn around and try and get it. So tough one here for Jamie Fornell to punt into the wind. Not great field position. We'll see how this goes. She's pretty deep at
she is. She's at her own 28.
13, 14 yards. That's a long way.
It's a lob back to her, but she's able to get it off. Nice kick.
Great kick.
Smith tells everybody to back off.
Bounce, 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 bounce.
It does take a forced bounce inside the 25-yard line of Boston, so a nice punt from Jamie Fornell.
Man, that's what they needed right there. So I think we've seen 2 very important plays here happening in the Force's favor in the second half here. Melissa Nelson catching Cahill, and Fornell pushing Boston back right there.
Boston's got it back with 10:17 to go, 4th quarter. Boston looking to get a big win on the road, push their record to 3-1. If Chicago can keep this lead, they'll move to 6-0 on the season, remain undefeated. Here come the Renegades. Back at their own 24. Cahill, been in the gun. She's going to pitch it off to Pelletier. Far side, pushes it back at the numbers. Able to get some positive numbers.
Yep.
Oakrey was in on the tackle.
We should be able to see that play kind of coming from a mile away. Adrian Smith lines up as far sort of away as she possibly can. Starts on a very tight, like jog sort of parallel motion down the line of scrimmage. She's coming in for a crack block on the down lineman of the outside linebacker.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. They're going to mark it down at the 27-yard line. Pelletier's in the backfield with Cahill. Tyler is going to be in motion to the far side. This is a handoff to Pelletier. She tries to cut to the outside. She can't. Good tackle. I believe it's Oakrey.
Yep.
Alicia Oakrey has had a fantastic game.
Yep.
She makes another big play there. It's going to bring up 3rd down, and they'll call it 9.
Alicia Oakrey is somebody who contributes on so many different levels to the Chicago Force team. I mean, she's just turned into such a defensive weapon. She's also been in the early parts of the season carrying the ball a little bit, and I'm sure we'll see that as the season progresses. But then it's just a spectacular, spectacular special teams contributor as well.
This Boston team averages about 36 points per game.
Whew.
They have 16 right now with 9 minutes to go in the 4th. Boston looking to get this drive to continue on 3rd and 9. Cahill's got time. She's going to throw it to the outside. It's caught. No, it's dropped by Pelletier at the 30. On the wheel route to the near sideline, she had it.
Yep.
It was in her hand. She dropped it. Incomplete. 4th down and 9. It looks like Boston's going to have to punt.
Wow, that's a big play for the Chicago defense. What a break they got right there. There was not a whole lot of forced players between she and the other end of the field.
Pelletier could have made a big play, not able to grab it. Emily Weinberg back to punt it away again for Boston. It's Brick and Gray back deep for Chicago.
All right, this has been punt receiving has been a little bit of a sticky situation for us today.
Weinberg gets it away. Line drive punt.
Great punt.
Takes a bounce and keeps bouncing.
Going to the end zone.
To the 30, 25-20. Brick is going to pick it up at the 11-yard line. She does have a line of blockers.
Here comes Dawn Peters.
To the 20, 25. She's got the near sideline. 40, 45 at midfield. She has blockers at the 45, 40. At the 35, 30. There's no one going to touch her. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Cassie Brick on an 89-yard punt return. And Chicago has a 24-16 lead.
Wow. Wow. I mean, Cassie Brick was just making her way down the field. I mean, that's easily 100 yards right there, coming around, dancing through all those defenders on that side. And what a great job by the punt return team in putting up that wall, that lane, and blocking that area for her.
We said special teams could be a big factor tonight. Boston had one early with the block punt to get the safety.
Yep.
How about Cassie Brick and an 89-yard touchdown on a punt return?
Yep, that's amazing. I mean, she's clearly, a little fatigue maybe is setting in for her. She's been doing a lot of heavy lifting today. But, I mean, again, what a valuable weapon she is.
Chicago set that up perfectly, though. I don't know if it was smart for her to pick it up.
Yeah.
But she had to at some point. But then the wall was formed.
Well, and, that's something we've been seeing her do all year long, is sort of chase down some of these errant balls like that. And you're always wondering if that's the right thing to do, but she makes it happen.
On this two-point conversion, they can't get in. Kelsey Casey tried to go to the left side. She couldn't get in. So the score, with 8:14 to go in the fourth quarter, Chicago 24, Boston 16. It's a one-possession game.
Wow. It's getting exciting here at the end of the game, and we'll see how the Boston kickoff return team responds right here. I mean, as we were just talking about the special teams, this is an opportunity for them to really make a dent. They've had some success in this phase of the game today, so let's see what happens. Chicago has got to be very, very diligent in this particular play. They have to stay in their lanes for coverage. The gunners have got to get down to the outside and turn in on the ball, and you just cannot get beaten turned around in this particular play. You've got to stick with your job.
4 two-point PATs, no good for Chicago tonight.
That is contrary to our usual form.
Chicago will kick it away, moving right to left on the kick. Kelly Rear, nice kick, high end over end.
Ooh, touched.
It's touched and it goes out of bounds. We'll see where the officials mark it. It looked like maybe Pelletier got her hand on it.
Yep.
It was working in the direction of going out of bounds.
Absolutely.
And Pelletier would not have touched it.
Yep.
And that's a huge play for Chicago.
Yep. Another big break for them. I mean, that is a lucky opportunity for that kind of thing. I mean, that ball goes out of bounds. It starts at the 40. Would have been great field position for Boston.
So at their own 20-yard line, they start this drive. It's a one-possession game. Chicago has 24 unanswered points.
Phew.
Boston was up 16-0. They scored that with 4:07 to go in the first quarter. All the scoring has come from Chicago since then. So they're going to put some time back on the clock. The clock ran a little bit too much. Might be about 8 minutes left.
So it'll be fun to see here how Coach Coleman approaches this particular defensive series. Is he going to be very middle of the road, sort of? Is he going to be kind of conservative? Or is he going to be a little bit more aggressive with bringing some blitzing linebackers? We haven't seen a ton of that tonight. It doesn't. We've seen them in the
go wait on the clock. So, fourth quarter, Chicago up by 8. Boston takes over. 4 receivers, moving left to right. 3 receivers to the left. Cahill waits for the snap. Has time. She's going to throw it deep.
Come on, Dorian.
Down the near sideline, incomplete. They tried to get it to Catherine Tylander. Too far on the pass. Incomplete. Second down.
That's definitely a matchup issue right there for the Force. With it was, I thought it was Dorian Bridges, but maybe it was Alicia Okri over there. There's definitely a height advantage in the Boston side of the ball.
Boston has tried to pass it out of these couple last drives.
Yeah.
Sharpie, they've run the balls when they could, but I'm surprised on first and second down they've tried to throw it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was kind of wondering that as they started this series, how much passing they would consider in terms of clock management, and whether or not with having the wind behind them that was going to be something they were going to try to do. But we don't have the stats in front of us, but I don't feel like the passing completion percentage has been very high today. Lots of drops.
4 receivers now for Boston. Pelletier in motion.
Oh, open receiver, 85.
This time they're going to try to throw it out, though, to Pelletier, and Weinberg was wide open, and Cahill didn't see her. This was kind of those wheel routes again to the far sideline. Incomplete pass. So 2 incomplete passes on this drive. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't believe that the Force is not getting exposed on that kind of thing. I mean, that's a person with nobody around them. So, again, another break in the Chicago favor.
What does Chicago Force defensive coordinator Mario Coleman want to do on 3rd and 10? Bring the pressure, maybe set back, bring in a couple more secondary.
Yeah, seems like it in the last couple of plays, we've only had 2 down linemen. So it definitely seems like he's very pass considerate. We've got 3 receivers at the top of the screen here with a 4th in motion.
On 3rd and 10 from their own 20. Boston looking to throw, and she's going to be sacked.
Great.
Sarah Rogers gets the sack. A huge play for Rogers. That's her 5th sack of the season. That leads the team, and a huge stop again for Chicago defense.
Wow, what a momentum opportunity for the Force to just take that and just go ahead and push and pound it against the Boston Renegades. It's a great defensive play and a stand they sorely needed.
7.5 to go in the 4th quarter. Chicago holds on to the 8-point lead. Boston's offense just can't get anything going here.
Nope, they can't. Great second half adjustments by the Chicago Force coaching staff to really put them in check here.
Weinberg's going to punt it away. The last punt,
another
Brick
good one.
Ran it back, 89 yards. This one touched Brick. Back at the 45 of Chicago. Now moving to the near side.
Needs to wait.
Outside the hash mark. Past midfield to the 45, 40 on the run again. 35-30, she's pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line by Aaron Deet. So another nice punt return for Cassie Brick. She just ran one back 89 yards for a touchdown, and now she gives the Force good field position inside the 30-yard line of Boston. They have the 8-point lead with 6:54 to go in the 4th.
So here we go again. Chicago is definitely, well, I shouldn't say definitely, but I don't anticipate they're going to try and milk the clock. I think Coach Konecki is going to want to score, 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 and he's going to continue to push the ball.
Rachel Gore in the gun from the 30. On 1st down. Handoff. Up the middle. It's Hatcher to the 25. Down to the 21-yard line on the right side. Brandy Hatcher's been busy here in the second half.
Yep, very. She's doing a great job. She's been so reliable over the years, as a running back, just really pounding, 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 pounding.
Gain of 9. 2nd down and 1. The clock continues to move. 6.5 to go in the 4th. Maybe you will see some more running.
Oh, yeah, I
Let
think
that
so.
clock go.
Well, yeah. We're going to continue to score, though. I can, if we could score 100, we'd probably try.
On 2nd and 1 from the 21. Moves to the down. Yard.
Stopped.
Was in on that tackle. She was slow to get up, but she looks okay. And Chicago can use more time up as they get a 1st down.
Yeah.
First down. Chicago's going to let that clock just milk down.
Continue to move,
They
yep.
have the 24-16 lead. This would be a big win against a very good team in the WFA.
It absolutely would, and it's a good game for the Force to have at this point in this season. I think it teaches a lot of lessons in terms of bouncing back from some adversity, playing in very, very tough physical conditions. I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot of times where it gets much worse than this for the balance of the year. So it shows a lot of strength on their part.
Head coach John Konecki calls for a timeout here from Chicago. 5:27 to go, fourth quarter. Chicago has the 8-point lead. Midwest Orthopedics at Rush is nationally recognized as a leader in comprehensive orthopedic services in sports medicine. MOR, proud to be the team physician to the Chicago Bulls, Blackhawks, and your Chicago Force. That's Midwest Orthopedics at Rush, www.rush-ortho.com. Got to thank all the Chicago Force sponsors. Wouldn't be able to do these types of web streams, webcasts, and radio broadcasts without our sponsors, and it's great to have them.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think is sort of a difference maker for the Boston team this year is sort of, as you were mentioning before, that change in leadership and change in sponsorship. And, they had a significant amount of funding when they were the Boston Militia. And so now it's a little bit different game for them to try and, sort of generate their own sponsorships and stuff like that for the season.
You win a national championship. You've won 3 in the last 7 years. Owner says, I'm done, I'm out. Yep. And you try to form them back, and you come out as the Boston Renegades and still have a pretty good team.
Yeah, absolutely.
On first down, Gore, handoff, up the middle, may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Good tackle from Deanna Walsh. Brandy Hatcher on that carry. Second down, call it 9. 5:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Chicago 24, Boston 16.
Amber Kimbrough, we've been seeing her in the backfield on a big chunk of the Force offensive plays, and then, of course, on the defense side of the ball. She's probably one of the few players that ends up playing both ways for us.
Chicago letting that clock move down under 5 minutes. Gore just letting the clock run a little bit. She's in the gun. She's got Kimbrough right to her right, and she's got a back behind her. Gore will hand it off.
Not a clean handoff there.
Cuts inside. It's Hatcher at the 15, down to the 10. Now the pile moves forward. They're going to mark her just outside the 10-yard line. Brandy Hatcher with a nice run.
Brandy Hatcher just, super durable. She's just taking the hits there and just continuing to move the ball forward. I'm really proud of her. She's, always coming in, just doing whatever you ask of her.
Brings up a big third down. 3rd and 3.5. Ball at the 11-yard line of Boston. The Renegades have to make a stop here if they want to get back into it. Under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth. Again, the Force just letting the clock run as much as they can before they have to get the play off.
Yeah, just outside of the angle here on the screen is the referee now saying there's 10 seconds left on the play clock.
The ball is at the left hash. Gore, and we're going to get a flag. Kimbrough moved early in the backfield, so this is going to be a 5-yard penalty on Chicago. It's going to push him back, and that's a big 5 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8.
It is. It's a big 5 yards, and it's unfortunate to stop the clock.
3:42 left on that clock. Don't forget, 2 weeks from today, we're back on the air. Chicago will take on the St. Louis Slam. Back at Lane Tech Stadium, 5 o'clock. Probably be on the air about 4:50.
Yep.
See if the Force will still be undefeated. They take on Indy next week.
In Indianapolis.
Yeah. Indy.
Yeah.
The score earlier in the season, 62-7. Force.
Yeah, that was a fun day at Lane Stadium. Significantly warmer than today.
I was sweating, I think. I'm not sweating tonight.
Yeah, not at all.
Under 3:20 to go. On 3rd and 8. Handoff.
Brandy Hatcher keeps going.
And Hatcher trying to get some more yardage. As she stood up at the 15, she'll get down to the 14. Boston will call for a timeout. Head coach Don Williams wants to conserve as much time as he can, as you see if you're watching the web stream. 24-16 Chicago. 3:07 to play.
Yeah, Boston's going to get, I think, very deliberate here in the next couple of minutes in terms of how they're operating. With 3 minutes left on the clock, but 3 timeouts left, they still have a chunk of time and can manage well. It's a very potent Boston offense. You got to be careful of them.
Hope everyone's enjoying the webcast tonight. Hope you've been listening on AM 1230 WJOB. Appreciate the work of everybody. Christina Cortez back in the WJOB Spruce. Here, Chuck Pullen doing a fantastic job directing. Jeff Corey.
Yeah, the video feed. You got to
Matt McGlinden. You can't ask for two better cameras.
I mean, this is awesome. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are doing a great job.
So out of the timeout. It's 4th and a long 6 at the 14. Gore in the gun. Fornell is going to not get the jet sweep. Gore keeps it. She's going to be stood up. Now she tries to throw it forward. It's almost intercepted. Gore was being pushed back. She just threw it up with her left hand.
Yeah.
And Jen Dulski had a chance at it. She couldn't get it in her hands, but
wow,
that would have been
a disaster.
A disaster. The turnover still on downs, and it's Boston ball.
Huh. You got to wonder what the rationale was for that from Rachel. I mean, it's 4th down. You're near the end of the game. You know, you take a sack like that. That's no harm done. Extremely conservative there.
Oh, boy.
But wow.
3 minutes to go. Is this the last time? Boston will get the ball.
See, force defense here, really taking a stand. Boston's going to let it all out here and really start to push.
At the 14, they have to go 86 yards. It's Cahill in the gun. She'll hand it off to Pelletier. She'll try to get to the outside. Does. To the 15. A huge block on the outside of the 20. There's a flag. This one's going to come back.
Block in the back, maybe.
Boston is not happy about this flag. Boston is not happy about this flag. Pelletier got up to the 25-yard line, but this one looks like it's coming back.
Yeah, it was a big block coming in from Adrian Smith.
Boston is yelling on the sidelines about this. See what the flag is. No flag.
No flag.
So they call off the flag, and a big run on 1st down for Boston.
All right, these are going to be the kinds of big chunks that Chicago cannot afford to give up going in this last drive here.
At the 26-yard line. Make it the 27. 1st and 10. The clock is running. 2:40 to go in the 4th. The Renegades down by 8. Handoff. Pelletier. She tries to get to the near side. She tries to get outside. She can't.
Jamie Fornell.
Jamie Fornell with her speed comes up to the 30-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 7. Pelletier looked like she had some space to the outside. Fornell came up with the speed to knock her down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Jamie Fornell has, just completely changed the look of the defensive secondary for the Chicago Force this year. I mean, it has been, I'm sorry to say, years since we've had a tackler that is that sure at that position. She's just an amazing job.
You can't train speed.
Nope.
Pelletier gets the handoff on 2nd and 7. Cuts it in at the left hash mark. Taken down past the 35-yard line. Under 2 minutes to go. It's going to bring up 3rd down and call it 2. 1:45 to play. Boston has the ball. They're down by 8. It's more like 3rd and 1 from the 36.
Yeah. Chicago's really got to make a big play, at least a big hit on this in order to stop some of this momentum that Boston is building.
Boston's got 3 receivers to the right.
Ooh.
They fake the handoff. They'll throw it. Tylander caught at the 35. She pushes forward, has enough for the 1st down at the 39-yard line. Little screen out on the near side to Catherine Tylander. Enough for the 1st down. The clock stops to move the chains. It has 1:22 to go. Boston needs a touchdown and a 2-point PAT.
We got to see Chicago again continue. Maybe the strategy here is bend, 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 but the clock has got to continue to run for Chicago to stay here.
They still have to go 61 yards. It's 1st and 10 from their own 39. Boston's got a player in motion. Cahill looking to throw up the middle, throws it on the near sideline. It's caught by Mikowski. She's inside Force territory down to the 42-yard line, and we've got a flag on the wheel route. Mikowski came in motion to the near side on the wheel route again. She caught it.
Yeah.
She got inside the 45-yard line, but what is this flag?
I must admit that I did not expect that she was going to be the target on that particular route there.
Under a minute to go, 55 seconds. What is this call? Allison Cahill's talking to the refs.
Yeah.
Stating her case. Boston coaches looking for an explanation. This one's coming back. This one will not stand for Boston. See what the flag was. Mikowski with a nice catch out of the backfield.
Man, great.
A legal lineman downfield.
Yeah, I was going to ask if 56 was an eligible number.
She was, but somebody else wasn't.
Yep.
And they were too far down the field, and that is a huge, huge penalty.
Man, that really puts the brakes on what they had moving there.
See where the officials mark it. This play happened at the 39-yard line. They got down to the 43-yard line of Chicago, but they're going to push it back. Nope, I'm going to say it's at the 39.
Same starts there, okay.
So at the 39 with 55 seconds to go in the game. Chicago trying to remain undefeated. They need one more stop. At their own 39, Boston has 4 receivers again, 3 to the left. It's Cahill. She'll throw it. Far sideline, and it's incomplete. She had Pelletier on the far sideline, almost about 20 yards deep. Pelletier had her in her hands, but a nice hit from Alicia Okri, and I believe Jill Araki was in there. Incomplete, 3rd down and 10. So Chicago with 36 seconds still looking to get that stand.
It doesn't look like the timeout listing on the scoreboard there is right. It says each team's got 3, right?
A couple team timeouts have already been taken, but more importantly, Boston needs yards.
Yep.
Cahill in the gun on 3rd and 10 from their own 39. Gets the snap. Looking to throw. Has time. In the middle of the field. It's caught by Weinberg. Down to the 40-yard line of Chicago. What a play for Boston.
Great hit by Jamie Fornell right there, though.
A gain of 21 and a timeout for Boston with 27 seconds to play. Boston is not dead yet.
No, not at all.
Cahill had plenty of time to throw. She had the packet.
Yep.
She threw it, had Weinberg in the middle of the field. Big play for the Renegades with 27 seconds to go.
Yeah, clearly the Force was playing, a very soft, conservative defense right there and not concentrating the pursuit of the quarterback. But Boston certainly can do a lot of things with 27 seconds.
If Boston has 1 timeout, that's all they've got. I know they've taken 2.
Okay.
They took a timeout on defense.
Yeah.
And they just took 1 here. So they may not even have 1. If they have 1, that's it.
Yeah.
So the ball is marked at the 41-yard line of Chicago. As you can see on the web stream, I think the rain has stopped or it's just drizzle, the sprinkling. The weather has played a huge part in tonight's game, from bad snaps
loose balls,
missed catches,
loose
balls.
Yeah, it's been a tough day out there. It hasn't been the most accurate football game that we've been seeing, but definitely a lot of work in the trenches. The offensive and defensive lines have really been doing a great job.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see these 2 teams again very late in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely.
We see it here in Week 7 of the WFA. On 1st and 10, Cahill will throw it out. Tried to get it out to the outside, incomplete. She tried to get the Shantae Bonds. Bonds was coming out on the wheel route. On the far sideline, incomplete. Not a very good pass, as Cahill led her too much. 2nd down and 10. Too far in front.
But the thing I think that Chicago needs to worry about is that there was a lot of space over there, and I didn't see, a Force player within 5 yards of Bonds.
23 seconds to go on 2nd and 10 from the 41. Cahill again, 3-step drop, has the screen to the far sideline, incomplete. Pelletier couldn't make the catch. So 2 quick incompletions here for Boston with 19 seconds to play. 24-16, Chicago has the 8-point lead on 3rd and 10 for Boston.
Man, so this is clearly a passing situation here now, so then we know that that's what we're going to be seeing. So we should have 1 person assigned to the quarterback, and then we should be just covering every other body out there.
Boston has been held scoreless since 4:07 in the first quarter.
Oof.
The Force have scored 24 unanswered points. They lead by 8 with 19 seconds to go. Boston, though, trying to get that final touchdown. They're 41 yards out. Tylander will be in motion to the far side. Cahill, 3 steps, looking to throw. Down the near sideline, and it's caught! 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown! Shantae Bonds, 41 yards! And Boston is 2 points away from tying things up.
Wow. Coming down to the wire here, Andy. We knew this was going to be a tight game and come to the last second, and here we are. Let's talk about 2-point conversions.
It's going to come down to a 2-point conversion. We've seen this. 2 years ago, Boston had a chance to tie it up late. They missed an extra point, and Chicago went on to win the national championship.
That was the difference in the game.
They need a 2-point conversion here to tie it up with 11 seconds to go. 24-22. Chicago needs a stop.
Yep. The defense has got to bring it. We have got to cover and be just all the way in, blitzing like crazy in order to stop this.
Pelletier's to the left of Cahill in the gun.
Looks like we got a coverage.
Cahill will give it off to Pelletier. She'll try to get to the outside. She's in. 2-point conversion is good. We're tied 24-24 with 11 seconds to go.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I cannot believe what just happened.
Wow. Boston just took it right down the field, continued to pursue, push Chicago just end to end to end and end on every play, and the Force just couldn't hold them.
How about Shantae Bonds?
Coming around here in the fourth quarter, huh?
Bonds had one catch coming into this game. It was a 5-yard touchdown. She has her second receiving touchdown, and the 2-point conversion from Pelletier to get to the outside showed the speed.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So here we go, special teams again. We'll see what Boston chooses to do in the kickoff here. Our Cassie Brick Jay Gray combination here. We've just had a substitution on special teams for the Force. We've got Rachel Gore coming in now for Kylie Skirto, another offensive weapon, somebody that could run it back.
What does Boston want to do here on this kickoff? With 11 seconds.
I think you got to pooch, bounce, let the ball roll. Really take a long time to get the ball down there, and then you just got to block like crazy.
Brooke Goodman kicks it off. It's a line drive. It hits one of the up men of Chicago. It's picked up, and the ball still on the field at the Force 46-yard line. Who has it? I'm going to say Chicago ball with 6 seconds. Well, if you got a Hail Mary play, this is where you use it.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
How about the 41-yard touchdown pass?
That's crazy.
Cahill to Bonds from 41 yards out with 11 seconds, and Boston gets the 2-point conversion to tie it up.
The stopping of the rain, that's what makes a play like that happen, and it's just crazy that came about in the fourth quarter here.
Chicago have it at their own 45. They need a 55-yard touchdown pass right here to not go in overtime. 6 seconds. Gore will get the snap. She's got 3 receivers to the right. Gore's just going to move to her right. And it's completed to Gray. But she's not able to get out of bounds. She's pushed out of bounds at about the 47-yard line. We're going to overtime.
Yep.
That was not Gray, though, by the way. It was Jamie Forno on that catch. But overtime, 24-24.
Man, it's hard to believe. I really thought that after getting ahead and scoring unanswered points against Boston Renegades, that Chicago's going to put this away. So here we are in overtime, continuing the freezing. It's going to be a rough time out there.
Now they're going to bring the 2 head coaches together. The official's going to talk things over. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I don't know when I don't think I've ever done an overtime game for Chicago. We've never been in that type of game.
I know, right?
It is college rules.
Yep.
So this will start at the 25-yard line.
That's right. And, it'll be kind of interesting to see how both teams continue to push this ball in, So, the Chicago's really got to just step it up here, I think, in these last couple of minutes. And we've really got to be pushing the ball on the ground. And the defense, just taking one more stand. That's all they got to do.
Head coach Don Williams of Boston. Head coach John Konecki of Chicago. They meet the officials at about the 47-yard line. They're talking things over.
So where have our scoring threats been here today? It's been Cassie Brick, of course.
Cassie Brick had the 76-yard touchdown run. Rachel Gore had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
How big are the missed 2-point PATs for Chicago? They've missed 4 of them tonight.
Yep. 8 points.
Huge.
Which is so unlike them.
You just need one.
So unlike them. Yeah, we just need one of them.
So now head coach John Konecki is going to talk to his team. We'll see. He's talking to Kim Marks.
Yeah.
One of the captains. So they're going to bring the captains out This is where, again, in overtime, if you win the toss, you want to be on defense first. You want to see what the other team does.
Got it.
This is college rules. So college rules in the overtime, both teams will get the ball. They'll get it from the 25.
Sorry, interrupt. Keep going, yeah.
And you continue. You get first downs, and you get in the end zone.
Is there a rule after so many times and you can't kick it?
It's usually the third overtime in college. I believe they're playing by that rule.
Okay. So that certainly could become a factor in this game in terms of, especially with the way the wind is going and the number of two-point conversions Chicago goes through the season. They're not available.
And sorry to cut you off, Sharpie, but the one thing we may see different here is with this wind, with this weather, no one's going to try to kick the field goal.
Yeah.
You're going to continue to try to keep the drive moving.
You're going to have to.
So we'll see what the call is from the coin.
So
you don't move to the right side.
You don't think that if Boston got third down on the 10, that they might try for the field goal? No?
Nope, not here.
With the wind? No?
I don't think so. Not. It look Boston ball.
Yep.
So Chicago got the toss. So again, the ball will be marked at the 25-yard line. So overtime rules. It'll be 1st and 10. You can get first down, so you're trying to get in the end zone. If you're stopped, if you don't score here, Chicago just needs to get points to win.
Yep.
If we're tied after a first overtime, we'll switch it up, and we'll go over that when we get to that point.
Cross that bridge when we get to it.
I can't believe where we are here. I can't feel
my
legs.
Coat, man, I know.
Okay.
Do you want one of my gloves? No, I got a coat on.
The action's hot.
Yeah.
So here's 1st down and 10 from Chicago's 25. Boston ball. Cahill will hand it off to Pelletier. She'll move to the near side. Tries to cut it up. Pushes outside. We got a flag. Flag comes in. She was taken down inside the 20-yard line on the right side. We'll see what the flag is. Again, we're in overtime. 24-24.
What do you think the speech was in between quarters here from Coach Coleman? I mean, the defense clearly had the advantage at the start of that last Boston drive and, really just had a hard time.
Get a stop. But guess who's in the game? Number 55, Sonia Drangschul. How about this?
Yes.
Okay, we can now say it.
Yeah, just what we needed.
She's from Norway. She's played on the team. She's eligible.
Yep.
She was on a flight here this morning. The flight had technical problems, mechanical problems.
Yeah.
She's been trying to get here. I don't know if the game would have been ended that she may not have got in here.
Yeah.
But because we went into overtime, Sonia Drangschul.
I can see Linda put on your pads, get your helmet.
So the penalty will move it back to the 30-yard line. So it's 1st down and 10 there. So it's 1st and 15. As you can hear the wind in our headsets.
Yeah. And what an advantage that is to have a fresh linebacker coming in here.
Moving left to right. Hand off Pelletier. She's going to be stopped in the end. Penetration will come. It's a tackle for loss. Kim Marks was in there.
Drangsholt was in there.
How about Sonia coming in? Getting her first tackle. So a loss on that play. A loss of 4. This is going to bring up 2nd down and 19. Back at the 34-yard line. Boston has to get to the 15-yard line for a 1st down. Again, remember, they don't get any points, or Chicago just needs to get points to win. 24-24.
Wow.
In overtime. On 2nd down.
This is crazy. We just threw in our Norwegian player in the overtime here.
She needed the play to be eligible the rest of the season.
Thank goodness we gave her the opportunity. Here's Bonds again on that wheel route down.
Cahill's wide open, looking to throw, and then just has to throw it away as the pressure came.
Intentional grounding maybe on that. There was nobody near that ball.
Yeah, that may be a call coming. So guess who's in on the pressure?
Who? Who
Sonia Drangschul. We laughed because she was trying to get here.
Yeah. I saw her with 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter, run down the sideline. I was like, she's here, she's here.
She's literally in the United States for a 2-minute overtime period.
Freezing. For 2 minutes.
She wishes it's probably warmer in Norway right now.
Yeah, exactly, right? Or she'd have some warm clothes. I mean, this girl's short sleeved, short socks.
So on the incompletion, it's going to bring up 3rd and 19 at the 34-yard line.
Man, big play for the Force defense here. I mean, a stop or a hold is going to make all the difference.
You're not going to punt. If you're Boston, you've got 2 plays. Cahill has time. She's going to throw it, and it's too high for Pelletier. Pelletier came from the outside and just it was too high on the pass. Now, she did have a couple blockers, but the pass would have had to have been there.
This app says that it's 46 here. I don't believe that.
Try Winchell.
Yeah, right? Feels like...
Well, it's 4th down and 19. I mean, they scored a 41-yard touchdown pass. Why not try it again here again?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you cannot count this Boston Renegade team out by any means, and we got to be tough right here.
This is the first drive of overtime. Boston has the ball. If Chicago stops, they will get the ball anyways, but if they stop the Renegades here, they score the next drive, this ball game is over. Let's get through this one, though.
Yeah, we got 3 receivers at the top there, and that's where we've had trouble today in the Chicago Force secondary. Oh, we got a flag already.
4th and 19. Cahill.
Hail Mary.
Middle of the field, and it's caught by Weinberg. Weinberg has to catch, and it's enough for the first down, but there's a flag on the play. How about Weinberg with a gain of 23? This one might be on Chicago. How about Emily Weinberg? A man making a huge catch for 23 yards on 4th down. Offside, Chicago.
Yeah.
The penalty is declined. It's 1st down and 10 for Boston.
Wow. I mean, that is a tough break for the Chicago team. And, I mean, it's that kind of discipline. These kinds of little things. Again, we've been talking about the 2-point conversions. All these little bits of stuff shooting yourself in the foot. We got to be tougher here.
Ball is marked at the 13-yard line. Boston will spread it out. They've got a receiver to the right. 3 to the left.
We got Rachel Gore and Adrian Smith over here.
Pelletier in the backfield. She gets the pitch. She's going to try move to the outside. Now cuts it in. Breaks a tackle at the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown for Pelletier. Abby Pelletier gets the 13-yard touchdown run. And now let's see what Boston wants to do. Puts pressure on Chicago. They're going to have to score.
Yep.
To keep this game alive.
She's really had an amazing game. I mean, after Asia Asante went down in that first quarter, she has really stepped it up, just rushing. You know, she's, I don't know how many pass attempts has been her way. She's had a lot of opportunities today.
They're going to kick it. They're going to go for the PAT. This is Brooke Goodman. She's 10 of 15 for PATs. Bad snap. And the ball is just downed at the 7.
Wow.
Incomplete. PAT.
All right.
So, now...
The plot thickens, Andy.
The Force have to score a touchdown.
Yep.
And then if they get the PAT, they win. But they're down here in overtime.
Man.
Pelletier from 13 yards out. How about the 4th down play? The pass to... unbelievable.
Yeah,
the
unbelievable.
pass to Emily Weinberg.
Right? I mean, yeah, she's been in the right place a lot of times today, too. I mean, we've called her number several times, and she's been catching passes out there, you know, doing some blocking. She's had a great game.
So now Chicago takes over on the right side of us as we're looking to the right. It's going to be 1st down and 10 for Chicago. They need a touchdown to stay alive here. It's the first overtime.
So we only have 1 player in the backfield, so no blocking back, no Kimbrough back there.
3 receivers to the left. Gore looking to throw. Near sideline, and it's incomplete. They tried to get it to Jay Gray. One-on-one coverage, but the pass was short. Incomplete. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
It's very tense up here.
What a game.
I mean, this is crazy.
16-point lead for Boston early in the first half, in the first quarter. 24 unanswered points for Chicago late into the fourth quarter. Boston comes back. Now the handoff to Brick. She stood up. Yeah. She's cut off in the backfield. A loss of 3 on the play. Back to the 27-yard line. So a loss of 2. That's a big stop.
Yep. Yeah, the Force offensive line just could not get the surge that they needed off the ball right there. And the Boston Renegade team just came flying in, you know, breaking through those gaps and was really able to push, you know, the blockers and Cassie Brick back.
Now you've got 2 plays to get 13 yards.
Yeah. You know, there's a number 81 here lined up on the short side of the field that we haven't called a whole lot today, but she's been a great defensive player for Boston so far this season, Nakura.
On 3rd down, Gore fakes the handoff, looking to throw. It's caught up to the 20-yard line. Caught by Carolyn Lee. But still Chicago on 4th down is going to need 5 yards. It's 4th and 5 from the 20.
Got to get it here. No choice.
What do you do if you're head coach John Kinnick? You got to call a timeout.
Yeah.
And they will. John Konecki will call a timeout for Chicago. You talk about a bread and butter play?
Yeah.
You need one right
You need it right now.
You're down 6 in overtime. You need a touchdown, at least a first down. It's 4th and 5. You're at the 20. You got to get to the 15.
All right, so if you get to call the play here, who's getting the ball for you?
I have Gore fake. I don't do an option, but I have her fake.
Okay.
You fake the handoff. You roll her out to the left or the right. She's been preferring the left.
Yeah.
Either she throws it or she runs it.
Okay.
That's what I would keep it in Rachel Gore's hands.
Okay.
Not that she's had a fantastic night. She has had a good second half. She
Yeah,
has
yeah,
2
yeah.
rushing touchdowns.
Better.
But she's your best option. You have that run or pass opportunity.
Yep. I think given the choice, I have really enjoyed what Brandy Hatcher has been bringing to the table today. When having Kimbrough blocking in front of her and bringing the pulling guards from the right-hand side, she's been able to get a couple of extra yards.
4th down for the game. That D-line is so good for
It's
Boston.
so
that
good.
defense is good. Can Boston make one stop and get a win on the road? Chicago will have 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. In the backfield is Brick on 4th and 5. Handoff, Brick up the middle. She's not going to get there.
Nope.
Short, and Boston wins. Boston wins here in Evanston.
Tough one for the Force today.
Chicago with 24 unanswered points and with 11 seconds to go in the game, a 41-yard touchdown pass, Cahill to Bonds. They come into overtime. They get the touchdown. Pelletier from 13 yards out. Chicago gets the ball, can't do anything with it. And Boston moves the record to 3-1.
Yeah, that's
Chicago now 5-1.
That's a tough end of that game for the Chicago Force after having such a successful second half and really getting offensively moving and getting going and starting to heat up and to fall apart at the end of the game. It's unfortunate.
Handshakes at midfield. What a win for the Boston Renegades. A team that didn't have a team.
Yep.
They come back. They're not in a division. They have to pick up games. They already didn't have a game versus Montreal in a non-other interleague game. They come in here to Chicago. They get the win in the wind, in the rain, in the cold temperatures.
Yep.
You got to tip your hat off to Boston.
I mean, great job for them, and you know, they're a tough team, and you know, there's always been a very, you know, dare I say, call it a bitter rivalry. But we know that every time these two teams come together, that it's going to be a really great matchup. That it's going to be a tough one. There's going to be a lot of fighting out there, and you know, it didn't come up on Chicago's side today.
As we wrap things up, there's just a couple things that I remember. As we bring you back into the booth, Andy Garcia alongside Tricia Charbonneau. The punt, the block punt for the safety,
for sure,
I thought was pretty big. But the PATs that Chicago went to, the 2-point PATs, you just get one of those, the game's over. How about Boston, though? They get the one long pass in fourth quarter, and then how about in overtime, too? The big completion to Emily Weinberg, 23-yard pass on 4th and 19. You get the first down, and then their defense finishes it off. I mean, what a game between Boston and Chicago.
I mean, I'm really stunned. I was feeling like Chicago had it. They were rolling down in the fourth quarter there, and that, you know, the defense was really trying to contain. They were playing a very conservative defense there, and that they were going to bend but not break. And, you know, it just comes down to that one play, big yardage plays, and we see that happen all the time.
I mean, if this is going to be a playoff-type game, you saw it tonight. An overtime game, 24-24 going to overtime. And how about Chicago? You're down 16 at home. You come out, you come back at 24 unanswered points, but just can't finish it off. Your defense needs to get a stop. You can't get it.
Yeah, and, you know, kudos has to go to the Boston team. I mean, to your point about the unanswered points, they were really held offensively in that entire second half and then pulled it together in the last 3 minutes of the game to drive down that field and make that final score.
Yeah, you can't hang your heads for long. You go to Indy next week, and then we're back here in 2 weeks. There's nothing you can do. You just got to move forward, and there's still a lot to play for. Chicago's going to the playoffs. It doesn't end tonight, but you got to kind of pick yourself up a little bit and get things ready for next week. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, even from up here, you know, you sort of feel for the team down there and know that it's going to be a hard week of practice. But like you said, hey, this comes over. Nothing we can do about it now. Move forward to the next one.
I want to thank all our help tonight, especially WJOB 1230, Christina Cortez with her help here at the stadium. Chuck Pullen doing a fantastic job directing the webcast, and the cameramen, Matt McClendon and Jeff Corey helping us out tonight. I don't know what else to say. I'm speechless. What a way for this game to end in overtime.
Yeah.
We knew it would be a fourth quarter game. I didn't know it would be in overtime. I didn't know it would go fifth quarter.
Yeah.
But, man, What a game.
Yeah, it was a great game, and it's a good challenge for the team, and I'm glad for us to be out here tonight. So thank you to everybody that was watching, and we appreciate having everybody here tonight.
Want to thank our sponsors, Chicago Force Football, Athletico, Hard Water, Bar and Grill, Spin Nightclub and DLG Management, Rayla and Associates, and Midwest Orthopedics at Rush. Missed two-point opportunities, turnovers, weather, rain. There's nothing else you can talk about.
Great football
Unbelievable game.
Yep.
Patricia Charbonneau, I'm Andy Garcia. Thank you very much. The final score, the Boston Renegades get the win in overtime, 30-24 over Chicago. What a game. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks as Chicago will host here and hopefully get back on winning track next week at Indianapolis. Thank you for watching and listening to Chicago Force Football on ChicagoForceFootball.com and AM 1230 WJOB. Good night, everybody.